Very tricky day today with this weather. I think it's going to be one of those days that we have to really kind of work hard again for animals. As you can see, a lot of the roads is pretty much closed on this reserve. So we've just got certain roads that we can really go on. And of course, all our off-roading is limited as well, or completely prohibited due to the saturation. And yes, I'm just hoping that we can have a fantastic afternoon with everybody. Thank you for joining us. And as I say once again, please give us a helping hand on finding the treasure. And yeah, while we're talking and seeing the rain coming down, let's see what the weather is like here today at Djuma.
To the Easter Bunny at Djuma Private Game Reserve in the Sabi Sands here in South Africa. I'm sitting in the rain on quarantine, very excited for an Easter egg hunt, and I think I'm going to win, just because I'm competitive. My name is Tess, I'll be your guide and safari here for the afternoon. Behind the camera is G, and we are very excited. But yes, I think Cedric might very well lose today. I hope so. But we're in for quite a wet afternoon, hopefully not as bad as this morning. But as it stands, have a look at that rain coming down. Isn't it quite impressive? Now, it's quite strange for both of us to start up on quarantine, but we've got to have a fair starting point before our Easter egg hunt begins. So hopefully we have a lot of help from all of you. We will definitely be asking for it. And we'll see where it leads us. My plans for the afternoon, well, hopefully I'm going to win, but we'll see. I think the multicolor bunny is going to be backed by everybody at home. Now, I'm feeling a little bit warmer than I was this morning, but I'm sure you can hear the rain. It certainly seems like it is going to be a bit of a wet Easter egg hunt. Leopard Queen, we are in the soggy sands this afternoon. Never mind the Sabi Sands. We're in the soggy sands. Absolutely right. And hopefully that means that the animals and the environment are going to be quite happy. It means the roads are going to be a bit tough to navigate, but we're going to do our best to get there. I'm excited and nervous for my first clue. I'm really not used to this kind of weather in our autumns. But let's see how it goes. Maybe this is going to carry everybody through the winter. Oh, my first clue is about to come in. I'm nervous, I'm excited. What should I do? Get ready, everyone. Oh. Clue number 1. It really is quite beachy, and you find impala there. There used to be a puddle too, but now it's looking bare. Oh, okay, that is hard. Let me know if you have any ideas, anybody. I know that we have Lion Beach close to Gari Dam. I don't know if there used to be a puddle there. Maybe Sandy Patch, also beachy. Oh, I'm excited for this. Okay, I've got some hard thinking to do. Please, if you have any suggestions for me for my first clue, let me know. I'm going to send you over to Cedric so that he can get his first clue.
Yes, welcome back. I'm going to wait for my first clue and see what it is, and then I can shoot off and go and find that Easter egg. I'm hoping it's going to be a nice and easy clue. But as you can see, it is raining. As a kid, I always want to play with, in the background, what? What could it be? As a kid, I always wanted one in the background and always wanted to play with one. What could it be? Please send me some comments. As a kid in the background, I always wanted to play with one.
You always wanted one in the backyard.
Yeah, always wanted one in the backyard. What could it be?
It's near an embankment.
Yeah. Well, please send me some suggestions or comments on that. I'm just trying to think. As a kid, background. What do you reckon?
There's an embankment.
Where's an embankment?
Dam.
Could be a dam.
Some of the embankments.
All right.
Dams,
Yeah, maybe that could be maybe a tin dams. Or maybe I could take a look at an embankment somewhere. Yeah, please, folks, send me some comments and suggestions. I think I'll need some suggestions, yeah, because I'm trying to think exactly where and what it could be.
So I am thinking long and hard about my clue. My brain is churning itself inside out, and we're watching some of the water that's dripping down onto my rain cover next to me. And it looks as though it's feeding that tree from the way that we have framed it up. It's quite interesting. Literally watering life into the world. But I just want to have a listen while we are here in case we can hear anything, but also just to appreciate the rain. So these droplets are coming down quite fast. You can imagine there's quite a bit of water collecting because of the consistency of the rain. I think it really is going to make for quite an interesting Easter egg hunt this afternoon. But hopefully we manage to get everywhere we need to go. I think it's going to be interesting to see who gets there first. I hope Cedric knows that I'm watching him.
we thought about it. As a kid, I always wanted one in my backyard, and I wanted to play in one, and what could it be? And it's on a slope, I think Treehouse Dam? Maybe Treehouse Dam? So I'm heading to Treehouse Dam. I think that could be a good clue, or a good choice, put it that way, yes. So let's go to Treehouse. Yes, this little rabbit is on his way. Hoppity hop, hoppity hop. Here we come. You never know, maybe we bump into something on the way there. But it is really coming down with rain. Yes, I'm getting so soaked. It's all right. Oh well, I don't think I don't have any dry clothes left. I'm going through my third hat now. But yeah, I'm sure treehouse. I can't think of anything else. Must be a treehouse dam with a slope. Something that as a kid I always wanted a treehouse. We did have a tree, but it wasn't really a beautiful treehouse. We our tree a little bit kind of raggedy. My older brother, myself made, so yes, it definitely makes sense. I mean, that's what we wanted when I was a kid. So it'll be fantastic if I got that one right. Yes, thank you so much, everybody. Thanks for joining and thanks for the help so far. Treehouse Dam it is. We shall conquer. Oh, this Roger Rabbit will get there first. Woohoo! Okay, let's go down this side on this slope. So it must be on the side. Well, hopefully this rain hasn't washed the egg into the dam. You can imagine that, and that big hippo is waiting for us there. That will be interesting. Oh, he's eaten the egg already. He's already had his Easter egg. Don't take my egg. But yes, on top of that, let's hope we can find some animals as well. So, we can do the Easter treasure hunt and get some nice sightings for you this afternoon. That's if, of course, the rain decides to subside a bit. The rain has decided. Oh, hello, Impala. Yes, is it that way? Thank you. I think he also pointed down. It's that way. Let's go. Let's go, let's go. All right, while we're making our way to Treehouse Dam, let's head to Jack's at Penguin Beach for her to say good afternoon to everybody on this wonderful Easter Sunday.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Penguin Beach. Now, we have just had a penguin stand up and reveal 2 eggs beneath it. And this penguin has just sat down again, but we are so hoping that the penguin might want to move about a bit, and we might be able to show you an endangered African penguin egg. So we are at the very beginning of the African penguin breeding season here, down at Stony Point. And we have had an excellent Easter show so far. So we were hoping to show you a penguin egg, but we're going to show you a bunny instead for now. So hi everyone, my name is Jax. I'm going to be a naturalist down here at Penguin Beach. And behind the camera we have Jason. So we are hoping to find you some eggs. We are on the hunt, and we're also really curious to see who will win. So my bet is on. I think that we're going to have a look. I think my bet is going to be on Tessa winning. I've just got a feeling. So African penguins are burrowing birds. It's the beginning of the nesting season. They will find a mate and they will dig a burrow together, creating a warm, safe place for the chick to hatch. So the penguins will mate and lay their eggs inside the nest. And this nest has 2 eggs. They could have up to 3. And for most of the day, you will see exactly this. This could be the father or the mother bird, and they will sit on the egg, spending 1 to 2 days there. So we're going to stay with this penguin, and if the penguin does stand up, we will give you all a shout. But let's go have a look how Tess is doing and see how she's getting on with their treasure hunt.
Thank you, Jax. I'm glad I have your support this afternoon. So I am currently not hopping my way. I'm kind of snailing my way a little bit, but I'll be hopping just now towards Sandy Patch because I kind of feel like that's where it is, but I'd love to have some input from the viewers. The confusing part is everywhere has pans and puddles now, thanks to the rain. But I'm thinking Sandy Patch used to be quite beachy, sandy. Impalas love it there, always Sandy Patch. Used to have a puddle, which it did, but now it's rather bare. The puddle dried up just before the rain started. Am I on the right track here? Let me know what you think. Let me know. Because I'm just arriving at Sandy Patch. And that little puddle used to be at the junction to Sandy Patch North. And this is the look for impalas other than quarantine. Why, Jermaine, you think maybe a termite mound, any random termite mound? Okay. I mean, I don't know if it ever had a pan or a puddle. That's the confusing part of that one. But thank you, Whitemane. I'll certainly contemplate it. Definitely. I mean, there's so many puddles here, but I'll go to my favorite one, where I always see similar things. Gecko, you've got my back. You think it's Sandy Patch. I think so too. And this is, in fact, I'm arriving now at the puddle that used to be dry, and now all of a sudden it's overflowing again. But I suppose we couldn't really have predicted that, could we? Puddle in front of me. Nadine, am I in the right place? Did I do well? Sandy Patch, little puddle. This is the puddle that used to be dry, and now it's supposed to be bare, but the autumn weather has really just kind of blown our minds. Yes, I'm correct. I'm in the right place. Bunny dance, bunny dance, bunny dance, bunny dance. Look, I've even got a tail. Bunny dance, bunny dance, bunny dance, bunny dance. Beautiful. Thank you for the help, everybody. Gecko, you got my back. I like this. I don't know where Cedric is, but I think I just beaten him to the first egg. Okay, so this is Sandy Patch. I have had some absolutely incredible sightings here, including nkuhumas and talamatis at some point here, but mostly talamatis that I've seen here underneath that little bush. It's a little buffalo thorn. I've had wild dogs, and of course we've had a ton of impalas here. And what's really special about this is now we're super close to the burn site, and the burn site, of course, is what we're going to be watching for the next week and a bit. This rain is going to bring so much new growth. We are going to be, Cedric and I are going to be fighting each other tooth and nail to see who gets to come and check here for animals. Rawr. But today it's all bunny love. We're not going to be fighting each other because I'll be winning regardless. Ooh, can Cedric add on to the wins? I don't know. I'm at my first clue. Let's go and find out if Cedric has reached his.
Well, welcome back. No, you could be in the lead. It's not how you start, it's how you end. That's how I believe. Anyway, there's no bunny love this side. No, I'm just joking. Well done, Tess. Yes, I'm at Treehouse. Please just take a look on the side. I can't find the egg. I am at Treehouse Dam. So it must be Treehouse Dam, but on a slope. I looked around the wall area and I cannot find anything on the wall, on the slope. So if anybody can see something for me or like see something around here and I missed out, please send your comments or suggestions. I would really appreciate it. That was a lapwing, yeah. I wonder if that lapwing, I'm sure that lapwing saw the Easter bunny come and hide its eggs here somewhere. But I just can't figure out where. I did go across the dam wall already. I don't see it anywhere on the dam wall. But on a slope. Treehouse Dam on a slope. Somewhere at the back. Yeah, I don't know, maybe it's gonna be at the back. It is really raining. Yes, I'll see what it is. Please, I'll be great to see if I can get an answer here. If anybody's got a... All right, so I'm fantastic. I'm glad it is Treehouse Dam. And as you can see, some Egyptian geese just came down there, but let's hopefully we can see what the next mission is. And the next place, it is really raining here and pelting down. But I'm definitely in an eager bunny today to try and see if I can catch up to Tess and find all these hidden treasures. Oh no, I got it there. Oh, I almost thought it was an egg. No, it's a stone. No.
This is the very puddle on Sandy Patch that really threw a spanner in the works of my clue, but it is nicely full now, luckily, and you can see the rain droplets on the top. I'm very excited to receive my second clue from Nadine. I don't know where we're going next. Where are we going next? Tell me, Nadine, tell me. Don't give Cedric a head start. So it is incredibly wet at the moment. We are already pretty much drenched. Alright, let's see what the second clue is. I think it's coming soon from Nadine. And I'm hoping that you all can give me some help again. Gecko, I'm counting on you. My second clue. You turn out of the DRC and take your first right. You might locate a lapwing there and a seam watertight Galago pan. I think it's Galago pan. I think it's Galago pan. Tell me what you think. I think it's Galago pan. I'm going. Oh, come on, Wendy. Don't do that to me now. Don't do it to me now, Wendy. Okay, trying not to off-road, so I need to turn onto the road. Tell me what you think, everybody. DRC, you come out onto Vuyatela Access. Your first right takes you to Galago Pan or Galago Shortcut. Then there is then another right that takes you to Galago Pan. But sealed pan, very watertight, means a constructed pan. There's one at Gowrie Dam and there's one at Galago. You can find lapwings at both, but I'm guessing it's going to be Galago Pan because turning right out of DRC. I'm going to take it. I'm going to try Galago Pan. Tell me if you disagree. Woo. Easter Bunny's got to try and keep her ears on here, guys. Woo-hoo. I hope my face stays on. Yep, there they go. Catch though. Good catch. Right, they shall stay in my hand and drive the gearbox. Galago Pan, Galago Pan, Galago Pan. I think it's Galago Pan. I don't know what I'm going to get at the end of this when I win, but I'm excited for it regardless. Let's go. Speaking of the person who is going to come in second place today, it sounds like Cedric is ready for his second clue. Let's go give it to him.
Welcome back. Yeah, I'm definitely waiting for my second clue. I thought I had to look for an egg around here. I ran around the old treehouse dam. I almost stole the Egyptian geese's eggs. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, I'm definitely waiting for my second clues. So I'm thinking so I can try and get ahead of Tess. Let's get it on. FC, Nadine, let's see what it is. It'll be fantastic. It's not too far from quarantine if I make it quick there. Usually have a drink there and it's made of concrete. Bush Bry! It's Djuma Bush Bry. I'm going. Whoop whoop. Oh shucks, almost went off the edge of the wall here. Yes, I'm very competitive. I've got two brothers, so when you just got brothers in your family, there's competition. So, I mean, I played a lot of cricket and soccer and rugby in the backyard with my older brother. Okay, no, this is not good. And yes, so it's for me very important to try and get the lead. Come on, Djuma Bush Bry, here we come. I know Djuma Bush Bry very well. The funniest part, talking about my brothers, my older brother's 3 years older than me. And when we were kids, I was about 10 years old. My older brother was about 13, and we were playing cricket in the backyard on a Sunday afternoon like this today. So of course my parents had their lunch, or we all had our lunch, Sunday lunch. And next moment my parents decided, of course, to go to bed, to have their Sunday snooze. And when they went for their Sunday snooze, my older brother and myself decided to play some cricket in the backyard. And we used to take it really serious, like really serious cricket. And of course I was batting, my brother's bowling. He bowled this ball, I hit the ball, and it went straight through my parents' bedroom window, a huge glass window. It smashed the entire window. My dad, of course, I woke my dad up and my mom due to that situation. My dad came running out, and as he came out to see what happened, I threw the bat to my older brother. So I gave the bat to my older brother, and my dad thought it was my brother that had hit the ball. So my dad grabbed him and took him inside for hiding. Yes! Sneaky, and I got away with that one. But yeah, that was just one of those sibling moments. My brother never got over that. But we all laugh about it today. Of course, eventually we did tell my dad the real story once we got older. So yes. So yeah. That's why, very competitive, always in the mood for a good old competition. Always up for it. And so this is no friendly bunny. This is Darth Bunny. And let's head back to Jax at Penguin Beach and see what she can find for everybody that side.
So we are finding clues of our own here. We have not seen a whole penguin egg. We're still having a look out. But what we do have is some fragments of an egg lying about. So in our penguin colony, we sometimes have predators coming in by nightfall, and they will steal the eggs from the nests and they will feast on them. So often the little grey mongoose is a culprit, but our kelp gulls are also quite dangerous and will sometimes be seen during the day actually looking to steal a penguin egg or two. So we're still on the hunt. We're still hoping to find a nice intact egg for you, and I think we'll be heading over to the Shire soon, where we know we've got a couple of eggs hanging out underneath a parent. But from Cedric's story, I always had a feeling that Cedric doesn't play fair, so I'm really hoping that Tess is going to outwit him on their scavenger hunt. I think we'll just take a wider view and have a look out at our colony. So you can see most of our penguins have made nests inside the sand, and the nests are covered with what we call dune spinach. So it is an amazing plant. It's always the first plant that colonizes dunes. It stabilizes the dunes. And for our African penguins, it provides the perfect shelter for them and their eggs. They can't leave their eggs in the sun. It gets too hot. And so the dune spinach has been a really fantastic addition to the area. It wasn't actually always here. Part of the conservation measures here was that the dune spinach was actually introduced, but you can see the penguins love to burrow underneath it. And there are also a couple of artificial penguin houses about, which is another strategy that is being used to try to help the penguins nest a bit better. So historically, our penguins used to dig down into guano, which is essentially seabird droppings. But this area never really had lots of guano, as the penguins only moved here in 1986. Oh, sorry, in 1982. this time of day, the penguins will sometimes sit outside of their nests and just relax, enjoy some sun. And as the day cools, they will enter back into the nest and sit on top of the eggs. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to head back over to Tess and see what luck she's having in the Sabi Sands.
Jax, we have got a very high chance of finding some penguin eggs in the soggy sands today. I think we've also got a decent chance of seeing a great white shark come out of Gallagher Pan this afternoon. There is so much water that on the way here, the little tributary that has formed on the road, because now it's no longer a road, it's just a river now. The tributaries that have formed where there's little steps in the road have actually started foaming from the amount of water that's coming through and the speed that it's coming down at. It's foaming. How crazy is that? What is happening? This is more than our summer rain. I think in total now we've had close to 70 millimeters of rain. Okay, now probably closer to 90. Oh, hello, bunny ears. Okay, so is this my second clue, Nadine? Did I get it right? Am I at the right place? Gallagher Pan? Did I do it? Did I do it? Also, please remind Cedric that I also grew up with brothers. He doesn't know what he's in for. 3 of them, all older. Yeah! I'm in the lead at 2 correct places to go. Whoop, whoop. Take that, Cedric. This bunny's got it going on. Okay, I need my third clue, Nadine. I need my third clue. I need to be in the lead. I'm still in the lead now, but I need to be in the lead after my third one. We've got to keep the Easter fire burning here, everybody. It is absolutely freezing. Oh, Nadine. Oh my goodness, Nadine is creating some suspense here. She doesn't want to give me my third clue yet, but she wants to see if Cedric has managed to figure out his second one. Pfft, please, Cedric. Try and beat me, I dare you. I don't know if Cedric is going to add up to this count. I don't know. I'm with Jax. I think he plays it sneaky. But anyway, let's go have a look if he is any closer.
Yo, it just seems like it's gang up on Cedric Day. Oh my goodness gracious me. Anyway, yeah, I've got my second answer to the clue. It is Djuma bush braai. There's the braai. And there's the concrete slabs, and yes, so this is my answer to the second clue. Boom shakalaka. Yes, indeed. This bush braai brings back many memories. I remember this bush braai back in, I think it was 2011. I had one of my friends, bachelors here at Djuma bush braai when I was still working in Koro. And we left here after the bachelors, and I got lost. I still had a golf, and I was supposed to go down Weaver's Nest to Gurry Main back to the lodge I was working at, and then all of a sudden I took a wrong turn somewhere because I was not used to this property, and I took a wrong turn and I had this low golf, and I ended up going through almost the entire Djuma with my golf at like 1-2 o'clock in the morning. And I only ended up back at the lodge just before game drive time. And yeah, that was actually funny. I almost thought I was going to sleep in the bush that night in my little golf. But it did make through. I can't even believe it made it through some of the crossings. So yes, I'm now really ready to take on Tess. I'm sure she's going to be ahead. I'm sure LFC is there with her there. So yeah, that's right. Around the corner at the den, I'll find a fraternal viewer to entertain.
Duo.
A fraternal duo to entertain. At the corner. Around the corner from the den. That must be the other den site. You know, around the corner, it's a duo. I'm sure it's heart and ribbon at the other one. I'm sure I'll go around the first den and go around the corner and find the other duo. And there must be heart and ribbons den site. So I think let's head that side. I'm hoping. But please.
Well, ribbons, cubs.
Yeah, the two. Yeah, the duo. Yeah. That's why it's either that or the two cubs to entertain. So they are entertainers. Let's head. Let's go. Let's go. I'm going to know Philemon's cut line off by heart after today. All right, yeah, let's, while I'm going towards my third clue, let's head to Jack's at Penguin Beach and see what's happening there down in the Western Cape.
So we just got to see a penguin egg, and this penguin is just laid down again. So let's spend a little bit more time with this penguin and hopefully it's going to move again. So we know this penguin quite well. This is what we call the Shire, and we have been watching the Shire for a few weeks. So we are expecting this egg to hatch on the 21st of April. So there's no guarantee that that will be the day, but since that's only 4 days away now, we could have a penguin chick any day. So when they are born, they are beautiful and fluffy. The parents are likely to sit on them for a few days. Eyes only begin to open between 6 and 10 days, and so when they are born they are pretty helpless. But we are so looking forward to meeting this penguin chick. We're really hoping that this adult is going to get an itch, stand up a bit, and hopefully show us this beautiful egg. Her penguin eggs are fairly large. They're about 6 centimeters by 5 centimeters in size. They are a strange shape too. They've got a very nice round bottom. They've got a really pointy upper part. And the reason for this is because penguins have a really streamlined body. You need to be able to cut through the water. When an egg has a pointier end, there's a lot more space for the body to develop and for the wings to develop. So penguins have flippers, which are modified wings. Although penguins have not flown for many years, they are related to birds of flight, including albatross. So we just had a really cool question by Sally, and you were asking us how long the penguins will stay with the eggs before they have to go off and forage. So for most successful nests, what happens is that the parents will take turns, and it'll be 1 or 2 days that a parent will sit on a nest. Sometimes it can be up to a couple of weeks that a parent will be left alone. that if their partner does not come back, they will become hungry and they will have to go out to sea to feed. But typically, your males and females will switch turns every couple of days or so. And this would be around the time where the switching can take place. So this is when the penguins come back from the ocean and from the feeding grounds back to the shore. So we're going to be watching this penguin for a little while longer. And hopefully it will move for us again.
So this is the foam I was talking about on the way down to Gallagher Pan, and every little step in the road seems to have a pileup of foam. And this is exactly the same thing that would happen where Jax is. If there's very rough and heavy seas, the movement of the waves traps water and kind of traps oxygen, and brings it up to the surface, and it creates these foam bubbles that you can see everywhere. And it's the first time I've ever seen foam on Djuma, I can tell you that much. But I did promise you earlier that I would show you my Easter nails, so I've just done my kind of middle ones, so that they've got a little bit of Easter color in them, a little bit of flowers and patterns and things, just to have a bit more Easter spirit to go with my multicolored bunny ears and to go with my really ridiculous eyeshadow. And I have to show you this before it all smudges off, because I started the day as a fluffy bunny, and now I'm a smudgy bunny. Nadine likes my nails. My next clue is coming. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Thank you, Nadine. I'm going to try and put my glasses back on, but I don't know how well I'll be able to see. But I had to show you before everything smudges off. This is permanent marker. I permanent markered my face in dedication. Oh, thank you, G. In dedication. Clue number 3. In the middle of the dam, a tall tree does stand. Is that all the clue? Thank you, G. In the middle of the dam, a tall tree does stand. Chitwa Dam? It's really far away. Is there a tree in Gowrie Dam, anybody? I can't remember. Not that I can think of. Not that I can think of. Maybe Chitwa Dam. Maybe. I'll have to see what I can do. Right. Tell me if you have any other ideas, anybody. There's definitely not a tree in Treehouse Dam. Ah, goodness gracious. Okay, let's see what we can do. If it's Chitwa Dam, I hope I can get there, everybody. We're only allowed in Chitwa later. Whoop, whoop. All right, let's see what Cedric's found on his way towards his next clue. Or venue, I should say. Egg.
Yes, welcome back. Yeah, we are sitting here at the first den site. We've got, of course, Ribbon's two little cubbies at that first den site that's on the eastern side of Taxons, because we were heading around the corner towards the other den site where Ribbon and Hart had their cubs. It looks like the cubs come this side, and there's no adults that side. Of course, we can't stay that side if there's no adults. So we did come to this den site. So I just want to see if I got this one right, because these are two entertainers. I'm sure, you know, they're entertainers, and of course we've got and Swazi is also pretty much, yeah. Oh, Swazi's there on the termite mound with a little one. There we go, how's that? Hello, little one. So yes, what a fantastic little distraction on the way to the next den site. But as I said, I was there, and there was no adult. So did I get the answer right? All right. Well, I think I had plan B. Around the corner from that den, I'll find a fraternal duo that'll entertain. Oh, it must be the lapwing chicks. Oh my word! I think that's. Okay, all right. Well, now I've been distracted by these hyenas. They are too cute. I have to sit with them. Anyway, yeah. So it must be those two little lapwing chicks. But yeah, I'd rather just want to sit a little bit here, and hopefully I don't scare the little ones away with my bunny face. Maybe Swazi's saying, stay back, don't come out. There's a strange man with a strange mask. That's no bunny. It's a funny bunny. Yeah, look at the little one on top there now, just above. I love it slips into on top of Swazi. Those two, oh naughty. Those are two entertaining duos, I'm sure. Oh, Ribbon's little cubs, yeah, at the den site. I think my brain was working too quickly when I heard about the duos and entertaining duos. The only entertaining duos I knew about was these two young cubs of Ribbon. So I thought it was them. But I get it's a fraternal duos. So cute. Hey, Swazi. Hey, girl. Yes. You're really looking after the den site nicely. You're really paying attention here. I'm sorry about the pole. Of course, as you know, we do have our rain roofs on. So there will be a pole now and again coming through. Fly, good afternoon. You think it could be twin dams around the corner from Hyena Dam? Oh, Fraternal Duo. That's a bit far. Yeah, it's a bit far from unless you're talking about, when he's talking about a den site, maybe you're talking about that first den site they had around the corner. Because, well, Fly, I'm going to go stop at Twin Treehouse again, just to see maybe the lapwings, but if I'm wrong, then I definitely think you are correct. What do you think, Cody?
Yeah, maybe. Treehouse is on the way.
Yeah, Treehouse is on the way. Helen, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on our drive today on this lovely Easter Sunday. The Cubs, they don't mind the rain. No, they don't mind the rain at all. I think it seems like every time it's been raining, this den site has been really active. And the hyena's been really active as well. So I think they don't mind the rain at all. It seems like it's almost the other way around. It seems it's nice and cool for them. And they seem to be a little bit more kind of enjoying. Oh, look at that little one coming out. There's a small one. That is a small one. Oh my goodness. That must be Swazi's. Oh, that is so cute. Listen to it. Oh well, I'm going to be most probably going to lose this treasure hunt challenge, but I definitely won with this hyena den. Thank you, hyenas. There's something wrong with the back legs. It's not moving nicely, eh? Or is it? It's fine, eh? Difficult from where I was sitting here. Check the back lot. Even the front legs, no, it looks like it's fine. Yes, but it's... Yeah. Wow, that is so small. That is so small. Wow, that is really a small hyena cub. Shame, Swazi, he just wants, or he or she just wants some milk, a little bit of warmth from mom. Clearly looks like she's just got the one cub. Well, that's what we've taken notice so far for Swazi. Yeah, it's like struggling. It's like slipping all over. Like a bit of traction. And the two evil Knievels on top there. All ribbons, the cubs just watching above where Swazi is now. You can see them there. So very interested in up and down and watching and just listening to the little cub crying there. They are getting really cute. Our ribbon cubs are becoming cute. Good. How many Easter eggs did the cubs get? Well, with their cuteness, I will give them dozens of little Easter eggs if I was the Easter bunny. I think just for their cuteness. Definitely. They deserve it. They are so cute. What do you think, Kat? How many would you give to these little cute ones? Oh, here comes another one in here. Looks like Tima. Yeah, and Tima's just arrived. What's you know? Doing the greeting. Of course, that's how they pretty much greet each other, our hyena clans. Sorry, it's just my mistake. Looks like it's got that scratch on the bum. Yeah, so it's Swazi and Djuma. Yo, now it's a party. Now it's an Easter party. See, somebody mentioned Easter eggs. Now it's just cubs everywhere. Like the children came out to play. Oh my goodness. Oh, Swazi's bum is very muddy. All the ones are playing around here now. All over the show. All right, I think we're definitely way far now behind on this Easter hunt, this treasure hunt. Oh my word. Tess, yeah. Well. That's Heart's Cub now. Heart's Cub's just come out as well. So now we've got all the cubs. So Heart's Cubs, we've got the Ribbon's Cubs, and Tima's Cubs. Corky's Cub, I'm sure is here because Corky's in the background. It's Swazi's Cub. So yeah, that looked like was a Cubs party. Yeah, because Kat, you were going to mention about how many eggs do we give to these little cubs. Now all of a sudden they're always so happy to hear that. I think they're all like, where's my Easter egg? Where is it? I think it looks like they're searching for the eggs around there now. Oh, I found one. There. No. Oh, they are too gorgeous. Yes, Fiona, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us on our drive this afternoon. So many cubbies, definitely. It is, as I said, it's a cub party at the moment. I'm sorry, I got so distracted by this now. I actually went off the rails with the treasure hunt, but this is a beautiful distraction. I'd rather be distracted by this than traffic. Got 4x4 going there, low range 4x4, traction control, making sure he came down that hill and not slide and slipped all over this show there. Look at these ones, the little one coming up to them. Oh, there comes Swazi's again. Yes, Swazi's cub is smaller. Nothing went back in. So it just shows you, you're talking about aren't these cubs afraid of the rain and don't they want to take cover? But clearly, this rain and this kind of weather has kind of encouraged them more to, move around, be active, and it seems like they really enjoy the wet weather way more than a real hot day where they'll kind of take shelter. Swazi's come, went back straight in. Not used to all this entertainment here. Yeah, anyway, let's sit down. Well, I'm actually going to make my way to the next clue. Let's head back to Tess and see. I'm sure she's almost at the end of the Easter treasure hunt. Yeah, let's head back to Tess.
Indeed, I am, Cedric, but I understand why you're happy to lose it if you've got some hyena cub action. I totally get that. So, I got my third clue. I couldn't get all the way there because of the roads being closed and because of the time constraints with Chitwa. So, it was indeed Chitwa Dam. Now I get to get my last clue, and I think I'm beating Cedric by 3-1 at this point. But I think he should get a second point for having the hyena cubs, so maybe we can say 3-2. I'm excited to see what the fourth clue is, and hopefully win the treasure hunt. Maybe we just take out the third one since I couldn't go and we're at 2-2, because he's got the hyena cubs. It's a good win. My fourth clue is it's very eco-friendly, using power from the sun between the dip and the cutline, and it helps run water at the pump house. Okay, wait, before you even go anywhere, Nadine, before you even go anywhere, I'm sorry, are we talking about the pump house that's right in front of me? Because it's solar run. It pumps water between the dip and the cut line, and I think this is what I'm looking for. Am I right? I was on the way to Chitwa Dam and stopped at Weaver's Nest Philemon's cut line because we couldn't get any further with the roads. That is amazing. Am I at the right place? Are those really my chances? Are those really my odds? Okay, so I have to look for a little hidden surprise that Marcel hid for me close by. I'm a little wet, I would say. Okay, hidden surprise that Marcel hid for me. Guys, I'm even wearing long socks. I'm not wearing my pink ones today. Do I need to try and get on top there? I think I win this one. 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 Did I win? I think I won this one. Okay, Cedric, you do have hyena cubs, but G and I get Easter eggs. There you go, G. I feel like a little happy dance is deserved. It's a little cold, everybody. Yes! Okay, Cedric got hyena cubs, but I got the Easter egg hunt. I knew Jax had backed me for a reason. Oh, I don't know if Cedric's going to win any surprises, but of course, let's go over to Cedric and see if he has any chance left since I've won the main one. Very exciting stuff.
This is the crying bunny. Anyway, no, I'm not going to cry. I'm actually more happy. I think my surprise is with this hyenas and their cubs around here. To me, is it's still magical. It's but well done, Tess. You deserve it. You go, girl. I think you definitely had your nose on the ground there, and you sniffed out every clue with determination, courage, and finesse. Well done. I'm really proud of you. Yes, but it's fine. I know I'm very competitive, but it's fine. I'll just take the second spot. My final clue. All right. It helps out with our safari, and it's supported by a camera. Well, it must be, sorry, I didn't get the whole thing, but I know it's the dam cam. It must be the dam cam. And it's and the zoomies help us out a lot with it, I know that. It's all helped out for our safaris, and it's watched by many eyes. And it's definitely, I think, and the zoomies help us out as well. So I think it is the dam cam.
Let's go.
Let's do it. All right, I'm just going to try and get away. Oh, sorry, I just got one or two little cubs. I think it went behind me. I just don't want to watch it. All right, let's go and see if we can find it, folks. Everybody, let's do it. Wow, wow, wow. This was a fantastic surprise to me. You know, sometimes I believe is that, yes, I think my clue was to go to another location for my third clue. And I think by chance, it just shows you that sometimes you follow your own little instinct, and it took me to this side, and look what we got. So, but let's go and get the other one. Let's go look for our surprise. Treasure hunt, here we come. Here we come. Let the Roger be the rabbit.
I finally found my first animal for the afternoon, and it ran away. That's hilarious. There is an impala, but she's hiding. She's on her own. And I don't know why. Maybe the group got split, but I'm going to go around and have a look if there's any more to the left. I think there are some. I think there are. Yes, I can see one more. See, I can see a little bit through my glasses. Oh, there's another one and another one. Okay, we've got a few. Our first animals for the afternoon. On my side, anyway. Okay. Oh, quarantine is getting soggy. Soggy. Okay. There's a nice view of them down there. A few impalas. They seem to be trying to stay safe, staying in an open area, trying to watch for other animals, particularly predators, and they don't look very happy. They look as though they are staring back onto quarantine. And I can hear a bird, but the impalas seem to have relaxed now. I think they had a bit of a false alarm. They thought they heard something on quarantine, but whatever it is, they're relaxed again.
So we are still here at the Shire, and this penguin is having a lovely afternoon nap. But speaking about animals that walk awkwardly, I know you had Cedric's cubs. Have a look at our African penguins doing some waddling. So these birds are making their way back to the nests. They've come in from the ocean. So although Swazi's cub might be walking a bit funny from an injury or perhaps just the mud, penguins are naturally awkward. They have this beautiful little waddle that they do. And this is a very exciting time to be at Penguin Beach because the penguins are heading home, so they'll spend time on this rock sunning themselves and cleaning their feathers before heading back to the burrows. These penguins can use the same burrow for a couple of years in a row, and they do defend their territory, so if they really like their home, they'll make sure that no other penguins will make their way into it. And penguins are cute, but so Nadia has just asked us a question about which animals are similar to penguins, and I was actually going to say when I stopped off that penguins are cute. So despite them being cute, they are actually pretty ferocious, much like your spotted hyenas actually. So spotted hyenas don't always look very, predatorish. They don't always look like they could take something down. But hyenas are very underestimated. They've got those very strong jawbones, much like your penguins who have razor-sharp beaks and very strong jaws too, because they are hunting fish. And hyenas, sometimes when they walk, they've also got a funny gait. They almost look like they're limping, which doesn't make them look very ferocious. Much like penguins, on land they are super awkward, but in the water they are little torpedoes in tuxedos. So I would say hyenas and penguins are actually in some ways quite similar. Thank you for that question. That was actually a very interesting. I think you could look at character maybe when it comes to bush animals and sea animals, and sometimes match characters. And a hyena is actually pretty fitting for penguins. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to head on over to Cedric and see if he is able to find himself his surprise. And of course we have Tessa, our winner. But let's have a look at what Cedric is doing.
Yes, welcome back. I am at the dam cam. So, of course, that was the last clue. It was all, of course, watched by many, many viewers and helped us on many safaris by the zoomies. So I've got to look around here to see. Hopefully they didn't go hide it up in the tree. Let's just take a look. If anybody's got any idea, please. Bada bangs, bada booms. Here it is. It's got it! The treasure hunt has been completed. And unfortunately, yes, second place is not bad by this bunny, but it's all right. The dodgy part about this is there's 2 eggs missing out of each one. Marcel. It's not too good, but yes, fantastic. But anyway, I'm sure I've got to take that up with those. But fantastic. Well, you know what? It was actually a lot of fun. I think it's always good fun out here in the bush, even if we've got miserable weather and everything that's happening around in the world and all that. I think we can still have good fun, a lot of laughs, a lot of entertainment, and being silly. I think being silly is always a good thing, and laugh is one of the best ways to, keep yourself happy and entertained. So yes, anyway, let's see what we can do. Well, this one is for Odie. There we go. All right. And, well, please put a vote as well on who's got the best bunny face. Okay, well, I don't have the ears. I lost my ears somewhere along the road. So my ears they did fall off somewhere. So I did have a bit of hearing problems during the beginning of the drive. But yes, of course, please put a vote on who's got the best bunny face. Most probably people will choose Tess again, but it's fine. I don't mind. Luckily, I'm not going to be the bunny today. Oh, I was half a bunny. All right. Whoop. But thank you for everybody's comments as well during this drive and on this treasure hunt. I really appreciate it. And yeah, as I say, but now the rain has decided to really come down in buckets. And as we are sitting at Gowrie Dam at the moment, I'm sure you can see not much has come down. I think every animal around here has decided to curl up and stick inside of the thick vegetation. And definitely waiting this rain out for the afternoon. Ali, thank you so much. Yes, I did brave this treasure hunt in this rain. Was another thing, but it's a fine. We're not made out of sugar, so at least I'm not going to melt away. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. As I say, there could be worse things in life, but that's all right. Hopefully I won't get a little cold or two, but definitely a hot cup of chocolate.
Don't drive, it's too early.
Just gonna sit out here. But we're not gonna drive now because once we start driving, and especially that the rain has really started coming down now. I think we'll drive straight into the rain, and I think the equipment will get soaked. So we're just gonna sit here and just enjoy the dam for the moment, or Gowrie Dam. Oh, sorry, I almost now I'm freezing, and and just actually take a look at those little rain clouds, and it does give a beautiful setting. I think it really does when the rain hits this area, and especially this vegetation. And I can't believe it for April having this kind of weather is really amazing, good for the vegetation. And yeah, the only thing, it is getting cold this time of the year, and with the rain it is a little bit on the very quite chilly on the vehicle when you are soaked. But look at that, it's just stunning. I think it's beautiful scenery. It is coming down. It is really pouring.
So we are down here at Hideaway. So while the rest of our team are hiding away from the rain, we are here in a sunny but windy Betty's Bay. Home to the nests. And what you'll often find is that the penguins will exit the water all in the same place. They'll often gather together in a group like this, and then they will all sort of exit in the same place to make their way to their different nests, diverging to wherever their nest might be. And it's very important, if you are ever at a penguin colony, if you see them doing this, make sure that you are not blocking any of their exit holes. It's always good to give wildlife as much wildlife. We do tend to find that in this area, when the wind blows, we sometimes have a drop in signal. But we are back and we are still with our African penguins who are heading home. These penguins are preening themselves. Just going to watch as the penguins make sure that their feathers are spick and span. The penguin feathers are quite different from your terrestrial feathers, from the birds that you get in the Lowveld. You can see these birds have absolutely no flight feathers. Penguin feathers need to keep the birds warm, and they need to keep the birds waterproof. The water here is exceptionally cold. Temperature can drop to 9 degrees Celsius. And so these birds need to be really well insulated to survive the cold water. So we've just had a question come in from Ian, and Ian is asking us, how far inland do African penguins go? And the answer is not very far. A couple of kilometers would be quite a lot. Penguins have no need to go far inland, and the further they go inshore, the more likely they are to be vulnerable to predation. So typically penguins will stay within 1 kilometer of the ocean. And in fact, before the 1980s, South Africa had no breeding colonies on land. So Stony Point was only established in the early 1980s and Boulders Beach after that in 1986. And they established colonies on land due to a change in the fish. So the fish all moved east and so did the penguins, but also because these areas became protected. So before that, penguins would only nest on islands. And that's true of most seabirds. Islands are a lot safer. There are no terrestrial predators. And you can see these penguins are really getting ready to head home. So penguins can be awake at night and they can sometimes be quite vocal at night. But penguins are, for the most part, like us. They are diurnal. They like to be busy during the day. So in the early mornings, they will head out fishing. And at this time, they will make their way back home. So mates will meet at the burrow. If one mate has been out fishing, then they will take the place of their partner. So we just had the coolest name, Secret Marsh. I love that. It's very, very strange. And you're asking us if penguins have hierarchies. And penguins have monogamous breeding pairs. So pairs will establish a bond, and then they don't really have a hierarchy per se, because every penguin thinks that it is the boss. And penguins illustrate this by pecking and being quite aggressive with any other penguin who had to get in its space apart from its partner. So it's not like our hyenas that you guys were just watching that have that matriarchal system. Penguins are not really organized in their social system, even if they go out to fish. When penguins go out fishing, it's not in, groups of penguins that they've known for years, that they all fish with every day, like, prides of lions hunting. It's a few penguins who've decided that they want to go out fishing together. Other groups will join sometimes a bit later on. And sometimes you can hear the penguins calling out at sea, trying to find other birds to fish with, because it's easier to fish in a group than to fish alone. So I hope that answers your question. No hierarchies at Penguin Beach, but certainly in terms of Penguin Beach, we have several other seabirds in the area, and penguins are definitely the boss here. So the penguins bully the other seabirds, like our cormorants. Every bird here will move out of the way for penguins. Yesterday we had the penguins be a bit rude to an Egyptian goose. Egyptian goose, or geese rather, are quite aggressive birds. They've been known to fly after fish eagles who steal their chicks, but they don't pick fights with our African penguins. And I think we're just going to spend some more time watching these penguins head back to the nests. So that waddling gait looks very clumsy, but it certainly does the job. They get over rocks, they get over kelp. And for penguins, that is actually the most energy efficient way to walk. At times, these penguins can also slide on their bellies. It's more common in ice-going penguins than what we see with our African penguins. Jason is getting some awesome views here of these penguins heading home to the burrows. So Mary has just said she kind of waddles like a penguin too, and I think it is relatable for many of us and very easy to judge. But like I say, they're actually very capable of climbing over things that I think most humans would struggle with. So it's very easy to look at another species and not fully understand what they're doing and why they do it. And humans are good at many things, but there are also so many things that our animals are just far superior at. all of these penguins are preening away. So they start their day off in exactly the same way. So what you're seeing now is exactly what you might see if you were here at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. So let's watch these penguins go about their preening, and we'll chat a little bit more and have some views of the sea just a bit later on. Nadine says you can just wipe the lens for us. See? So sorry, guys. So you're actually blocking the penguins' way. So the penguins want to come through here. Okay. So we are down here at Stony Point. If you were hoping to watch our safari show, we're being rained out at the moment. So in South Africa, we're having these big rains both in KwaZulu-Natal, one of our provinces, and also in the Lowveld. So I think there must be some sort of low pressure system moving over the area. But here the conditions are sunny, although not so warm. And we are having a look at our African penguins. But I think I'd actually love us to take a wider view and just take in the sight of the ocean for a while. So this is the Atlantic Ocean. And you'll notice that in the ocean we have some brown blobs bobbing around, and that is kelp. So in the cold oceans of the world, we have kelp, which is the type of algae. It is a very large algae and one of the fastest growing algae in the world. So this kelp can grow up to 1.5 centimeters a day. So it might not look all that exciting from here. What the kelp does, it actually breaks the wave action, and so it makes the bay where the penguins are coming in far more protected than what it would be if there was no kelp in the area. Let's see. Jason, we've got a huge raft of penguins out at sea. So it's just behind the waves now. Hopefully we can get it on camera. Do you see them there? So there's the So the wave's just going to lift them up now. So what we're going to try to do, we're just going to try and give you a shot of a massive raft of penguins. So on land, we might call a group of penguins a waddle or a rookery, a colony even. But in the water, we call it a raft of penguins. And often at this time of day, you see these lovely big rafts because they are coming back in from the ocean. Jason, are you managing to... So it's a bit tricky with the swell, but we'll see if we can get that on screen for you. So they are just in the back line. We'll just see if we can get you a view of that. So when penguins are coming back to their colony, they can be quite vulnerable. Sometimes naughty Cape Fur seals will wait for the penguins to come back from fishing and try to catch them to eat the fish in their stomachs. There is safety in numbers when you return. We're getting some very cool names coming in here. So eyes on Spot, I'm sure Spot means leopard. You're asking how fast penguins can swim, and they can go up to 20 kilometers an hour in short bursts. So they can be very fast. Their average traveling speed is not that fast. It's usually about 4 kilometers an hour. But penguins can travel up to 80 kilometers in a single day. So they know that because some penguins have had GPS trackers put on them, and so they're able to see where the penguins move. So in the water, they really do glide. Their bodies are built for it, and the scientific name for the penguin translates to diving wedge. So even back in the day when people were first discovering penguins, they realized that they are apex predators in the water and very efficient swimmers. They'll often spend several hours out at sea and sometimes several days. Ideally, it is nice for them to come back at the end of a day, so leave in the early morning and come back at this time. But if they are not finding the fish that they need, they will travel further along. And their favorite food is sardine and anchovy. So this Atlantic Ocean is a cold ocean. Wherever you have cold oceans, you have lots of silverfish and schooling fish. That is the favorite food of our penguins. So Kathleen is saying that it's amazing that penguins can go 20 kilometers an hour. And it really is. I think the adaptations that penguins have for this oceanic environment is just exceptional. Let's have a closer look at our preening penguins again, and you'll see that they've got that black on their back. So most penguins are a variation of black and white, and that black feather is the hardiest of all feathers. So early penguins back in the day were actually probably more likely a reddish-brownish color. But over millions of years, penguins are now black and white. So that color can help them to hunt fish. When fish see the black and white coloration, it causes them to scatter. The penguin feathers have a really tough time, a much harder time than feathers of land birds, because they are diving to great depths, which would strain on them. So this is in part why they spend so much of their day cleaning themselves and making sure their feathers are in the right order. These birds will have several different types of feathers on their body, and some feathers are purely there to let them know if other feathers are out of place. So we've just had a very good question from Riley asking if penguin feathers are soft. And Riley, if you had to touch a penguin, penguins are actually very hard to the touch. So their down feathers and their plume feathers are much softer. But the top of the penguin it's very hard and very firm. So when the feathers are expelled, they feel a bit softer again. But certainly if you had to touch one of these African penguins, it wouldn't be like holding a dove or any of your birds that you would sometimes find in your house. So animals that dive like penguins and animals like your elephant seal, their feathers undergo lots of wear and tear with that diving. And so every year, these penguins actually lose all of their feathers at the same time. So where most birds will lose a feather here and there, these penguins will sometimes have to sit on land for 3 weeks at a time, waiting for all their feathers to be expelled and for their new feathers to grow in. And what we might do is we might move along and see if we can actually find you some penguins who are showing that. So they're showing that they're molting. It's our juvenile birds at this time of year who are going to get their adult coloration. So we'll stay with these birds for just a bit longer, and later on we'll move along and we'll see if we can find you some molting animals. So I think we're going to head off and see if we can find you those molting birds. So we're going to take a walk and we'll be back with you in a couple of minutes. So we have moved down here to the left wing, and we are looking out for a molting bird. So I do see a couple of them here. So adult African penguins are black and white, but juvenile African penguins are brownish on the top or grayish on the top, and then they have white bellies. But we have 3 juveniles in this area who are about to start their annual molt. So they are going through their rite of passage and becoming adults, and in 3 weeks' time, they will no longer look the way that they do. So molting penguins look very uncomfortable. I feel like it's much like going through puberty, so they're feeling very large, they look very puffy. And these birds have spent up to 6 weeks out at sea trying to fatten up for this 3 weeks that they will be spending on the shoreline. And it's not fun to be a juvenile African penguin here, because the adults will take their moods out on the juveniles. So often what happens is that an adult will walk towards the juvenile, decide that it's in a bad mood, and pick at the little one. So they are much more friendly to other adult birds. Although they still like other adult birds to keep their distance. So Margie has asked us a question about how often penguins molt, and penguins molt once a year. So they undergo a catastrophic molt once a year. The juvenile African penguins can undergo a partial molt in their first year of life. And if we have a look at the one penguin who's scratching himself now, Jason's just going to try and get a nice close shot of the head, and you'll see that that penguin has a bit of white by the eye. Now, this partial molt happens when these birds are out at sea, and this is because the adults do not like them in the fishing groups. They find them annoying, they're a bit slow, and so they'll chase them out of a normal fishing group. But if they get that white coloration around the eye, it's believed that the adults will treat them a little bit better and allow them to fish with the adult group. But that is a partial molt, that is not a full molt of feathers. So these juveniles will molt now, and then they will only molt again next year. The typical molting time for our African penguins is actually January to March. But since these juveniles would have been born at this time of year, it does make sense for them to be molting now. And what's amazing is that, you know, once these juveniles are able to swim, so as soon as they start to go fish for themselves, they can actually spend those 2 years out at sea, and they'll travel hundreds of kilometers, sometimes over 1,000 kilometers. They'll spend months and months at sea before coming back and before molting. So the juvenile penguins that we're looking at could have been born at Stony Point, but they also could have come from Dyer Island or Boulders Beach and decided that this is where they want to make their new home. So often birds will return to where they were born, but you do get deflectors. And Stony Point was actually started by penguin deflectors who arrived in this area and found it to be suitable for making their nests. So Dark Vein Lover, you are with us on Safari. That makes me very happy. Although you must have watched Safari first with that name. Oh, we've got two adults being very rude to this poor juvenile. So you're asking if penguins flew before they were diving birds, and the answer is yes. So penguins evolved from birds that can fly. So the common ancestor, which is more than 40 million years ago, they were flying birds. But penguins eventually lost the ability to fly. And so none of your modern penguins, you know, we discussed on Penguin Beach the other day that the most ancient of the penguins that are still around today would be your emperor and your king penguins. But they were never birds that could fly. They have always been flightless birds. But definitely the common root ancestor of penguins could fly, which is why they are birds. They have wings. But over millions of years, these wings have modified into flippers. In fact, the entire body of the penguin is modified. So most of your birds have very light bones, because to fly you want to be as light as possible. But penguins actually have, there was some fish jumping out the water. We'll just keep watching and see if they do it again. So penguins have quite sturdy bones. So penguins are really quite heavy birds. And penguins want to be heavy because the heavier they are, the easier it is to dive. So they will even swallow stones, which they will actually keep in their body for the rest of their lives, which will enable them to dive a bit deeper. So Betsy Winster is wanting to know if penguins have larger lungs and hearts. So I don't know if it's larger. I'm guessing that it's larger than terrestrial birds. And that's a very good question. I'm not sure that their hearts and lungs are larger. I think that they are differently adapted. And a lot of your ocean-going animals actually get a lot of their oxygen from their blood rather than their lungs. Because lungs under the water, if your lungs are very full, lungs are very floaty. So animals like seals, in fact, completely collapse their lungs on a deeper dive. But that's a really great question, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to do some research tonight and answer your question on Penguin Beach tomorrow, if that's all right with you. So I'll go have a read, and then if you tune into Penguin Beach, we will actually look at that, because that's a very interesting question. I'm not all that sure that they're larger. But what penguins do with their hearts, which is amazing, which helps them to dive, is they actually slow down their heartbeat. Penguins will slow down their heartbeat quite considerably when they take a deep dive. Most of your diving animals will also only have blood going to the most vital of organs, which allows them to stay down longer. We just had a question from Beamer Smith, who watches both Penguin Beach and Safari, and you want to know how penguins actually Good question. I'm actually trying to locate the nostrils on the penguin now, as you asked that question. So with penguins, I'm not that sure. I think with diving birds such as the Cape Gannet, they actually have absolutely zero nostrils. So they cannot have water rush up the nostril because they dive from a considerable height at quite a speed. Penguins, their diving is different because they're not diving at a height, they're sitting on the water and going down. But I think the penguins have very small nostrils. They're not very obvious on the face of the bird. But once again, I don't have a perfect answer for you, so I'm going to go have a read about that. Some birds have a system where they can close off, so if they are diving, their body sort of seals things off so that they're able to go down without getting too much water in. But let me have a read about that. I'm sure penguins certainly do have nostrils. That's a very interesting adaptation, and it's quite amazing actually to have Safari Show join in because your questions are very different from what our Penguin Beach questions are. And as a guide, we love the questions that we can't answer because it means that we're able to go and read I'm just going to stay silent for a few moments. I'm also thinking, Bima, about your question, and I also have read with most penguins that they don't necessarily dive straight down, so they don't dive vertically. Sometimes they dive at an angle, and that actually might be part of the way that they don't have the water rushing into their nostrils. So I'll go have a read about that, but I'm thinking that that might be part of the solution, is diving at somewhat of an angle and not diving directly. So often penguins will come up vertically, and they come up from great depths. These penguins can dive down to about 130 meters, which would be their max diving depth, or their maximum diving depth rather. You can see we have many more penguins making their way back to the shore. Whilst birds like our cormorants, which you also get on the Safari Show, would have to sit in the sun and really warm up after having been in the water for a long period of time, the penguins actually retain some heat with their feathers, but by swimming, their body also generates a lot of heat. So you'll see that they will arrive back and they'll sit in the sun for a little while before heading home. But I think that's more to do with preening away from the nest. just been spending some time down here watching our African penguins, but unfortunately it is time for Penguin Beach to say goodbye. So we hope that you had a fantastic time with us. We'll be answering some of your unanswered questions on Penguin Beach tomorrow, and also letting our viewers know about our eggs and letting them identify the different eggs that we had on today's Easter show. On behalf of Jason and I, thank you so much for joining us. We hope that you've enjoyed us in your safari show. And we hope to spend some more time with you in the upcoming weeks, tuning into safari every day. So we are going to be going into a repeat now for the remainder of today's sunset safari. We're hoping the rain will dissipate soon.
So I know I've said it before, but I'm just going to sit quietly because this elephant is now quite close to us. You just want to enjoy being next to this big boy. So cool to see his trunk is just sweeping around, sucking up marulas. Yeah, I say it all the time, Laura Moore, but I don't know, there's nothing quite as cool as spending time with these big grey buttes. I'm just watching that tail very closely. Because if he opens that chamber now, it's going to be bad. It's literally head height. There's a pretty good distraction from looking for dark mane. Zebi, my heart doesn't skip a beat, but it gets filled with happiness. Especially this one. There's times when they come that close and their body language is very different, and you definitely pucker up a little bit and your heart rate increases. But with this guy, he's being so gentle and so relaxed the whole time that from when we drove in. He's just showed us complete calmness. So that's why I was happy to come park where we did. And then he's the one who fed towards us. So it's very, very special. I mean, Gert, Amy and myself, we've all been around lots of elephants, but I think every single time they come close like that, it's very, very special. I'm just going to reverse so that for the last little bits of watching, and we're watching his face head on. Thanks, FC. FC is just letting me know that a lot of you watching are loving spending time with this big man. I'm sort of trying to rack my head. That elephant bull that we're with one tusk that pushed that marula tree over, I think they're quite comparable in size, actually. I'd love to see both of them in like 20 or 25 years' time and see what they're looking like then. It's amazing. One of the crazy experiences that I've had is you go to a place in Zimbabwe called Mana Pools. You collect, they eat the pods from the anna trees and the winter thorn, and if you like collect the pods and you put them in a pile, the guys sit down and you have these huge big elephant bulls walking up and eating the pods while you're sitting on the ground in your campsite. I mean, there's nowhere you can go. You just sit outside the front of your tent. And you have an elephant bull come and stand a meter from your tent. It's pretty impressive. Mel and FC's asking if you eat so many marulas, is he going to get the marula sweats? I don't know, they definitely get the marula bum. I can't believe he hasn't farted while we've been here. I'm quite impressed. Is that blood? Those hairs on the trunk are like almost like receptors. When that trunk is cruising around, imagine it almost works like whiskers on a leopard's face. Sometimes, I mean, they can be so powerful with their trunk, but if they're like tentatively reaching for something, and if something touches the, the hairs, you'll see they pull their trunk back like they've been shocked. We've got the lovely back. That's cool. The backdrop sound of a generator. Ooh, I thought when he'd have picked his head up a bit, he was going to reach up with his trunk. Okay, let me reposition again. We drove this side so we could see his face, and now he's moved around.
Is nothing like watching a leopard mom and 2 cubs. Truly, truly special. I don't really need to say anything. That's how precious it is. So we're just going to let you guys... Oh! That was a mini pounce. We're just going to let you guys enjoy. Just stand by. I'll pull out in 2 minutes.
Copy. Thanks a lot. It's really such a big gift. Thanks a lot.
I won't be able to stay here now. I am putting in another vehicle. So in 1 minute we will be leaving this sighting. If it is possible to head over to another feed, Ipsy.
So we are still just appreciating Ribbon and her cubs that are suckling, and poor Heart's cub is kind of just milling around in the background, waiting for Heart to come back. But Heart has finally disappeared into the thickets on the other side towards the drainage line. So while we're here, we are just going to have a listen, because the cubs are making some very cute noises every now and then, really learning to vocalize. And of course there's some lovely sounds around us with the birds calling. So let's have a listen while we watch. So Hart has just arrived back again. You could see her reaction straight away from the cubs. I don't know if she's trying to walk off some of the meat or if she's just interested in the smells. It looks like she's looking for something. So I'm wondering if she's smelling the other hyena that was here. Maybe it came past the den site. She's had a bit of a swim, it looks like. Cooling off that big belly. Look at that tail. She's definitely fascinated. She's intrigued by something here. Oh, now we've got more vultures. She's definitely listening to whatever's happening in the drainage line. I think with the amount of hyena activity we've had, maybe she managed to kill something in the drainage line. The hyenas managed to steal it. And now we are able to sit here and watch her as she's analyzing what's happening. Just a reminder, everybody, this beautiful girl, Tlalamba, is part of the Genesis collection. So if you want to find out more, you can head over to the Wild Earth website and look for the NFTs tab. I think she is the prettiest. Not quite as pretty as Kuchava maybe, but so beautiful. I feel like Tlalamba has a different type of beauty around her. She's such a big female, and she's the perfect combination of muscle and grace. Isn't she lovely? Oh, you can see that whitetail from here. She is looking for everything and anything this morning, and she is being distracted by all of the noises, and this is actually a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's for a leopard, it's part of the reason why they are so successful, because they pay so much attention to the smaller details, all the small movements, all the small noises, the smells. All of the predators will do it, but leopards in particular, because they're on their own, they know they can't rely on anyone else, and so from a very young age they get used to listening to absolutely everything around them. So it's lovely to see her being so attentive and so careful about what she's listening to. She's pausing very regularly. And you can hear there's a bird alarm calling at her, so that got her tail going, and straight away, look at that change in behavior. The tail is up instead of down because of the alarm calling. So she's saying, all right, I know you've seen me, I'm moving, I'm not staying here, I'm not hunting. And this is giving animals the opportunity to see her approaching so that she can avoid any situation where she might accidentally get injured. You definitely don't want to be mobbed by a herd of elephants or something. So if there's alarm calling and she can raise her tail, everything can see her from a distance, and there's no need to accidentally surprise someone. That being said, I think if she surprised a scrub hare right now, she'd probably go for it. She does look like she's eaten a little bit. Her stomach is not flat, but it is more difficult to tell because of the way her mammary glands are hanging. Her stomach hangs a bit lower naturally now from the cubs. But she definitely could eat again, I think. That bird is still alarm calling behind us. It's one of the cisticolas. Now you can see she's dropped her tail again, so this is conveying I'm far enough away from the alarm call. Oh, Nicanova, that would be wonderful. She's going to scent mark. It would be wonderful to meet Kuchava's cub. Oh, she didn't scent mark. Wow. Throwing me under the bus there. Yes, it would be so lovely to meet Kuchava's cub before I go. I'm very happy that I've gotten to meet Tlalamba's cubs at least. I'd love to see them again, but I think any chance you get to meet a new leopard and spend some time with it, not much compares in this world to that feeling. Because it really is an honor to be able to spend time with a leopard like this. You know, leopards are very secretive, they're very very quiet in their movements, and so if they don't want to be seen like the last few days, they won't be. They absolutely will not be seen if they don't want to be. So for her to be out in the open, allowing us to follow, is just, it's an absolute gift. This makes every day worth it. So the direction she's moving in, if she heads up to the right, she will still end up back at quarantine. If she goes left, she'll end up in the drainage line that's fed by Voyatella Dam. So it'll be interesting to see where she decides to go. If she keeps going straight down on this road, she's going to end up near Ribbons Den site at Twin Dams. Don't know if she'll go that far though. I love it when she sits and listens. That's when she's really intent. She's focused. So she's listening back up towards quarantine again. So remember where we are. She wants to make sure there's nothing coming up from the drainage line, but also no disturbing sounds coming from quarantine, because the surrounding drainage lines around quarantine is where we think the cubs are still hidden. We haven't seen tracks of the cubs anywhere other than going into the one drainage line. We haven't seen them coming out, but Rexon found Lalamba's tracks on her own this morning, which means she's hidden the cubs somewhere. And with all the hyenas around, I think her kill was stolen, so she needs to find some more food. And that's probably why she's out on her own. And taking the chance, even though she's in the open like this, for any leopard, taking the chance to sit and listen is a really good combination of things. It's giving her information on who's around. It's also giving her information on potential hunting sites, potential prey around the area, and potential threats. So she's doing a combination of everything. She's the ultimate multitasker right now because she's even grooming while she's listening. She's also going to be smelling while she's grooming, so she can pick up on all of these different things. Incredible senses, very, very heightened senses. Yeah, she keeps looking over towards the drainage line in particular. I think her kill must have been in there somewhere. To me, she's always had such bold geometric rosettes compared to the other leopards. Yes, they all have rosettes, but hers just seem to be very bold in terms of they're very thick, very close together. Looks like she's been designed by a perfect architect. I'd love to know what she's thinking at the moment. She's definitely hearing something that we can't. Maybe some movement in the drainage line if the hyenas have finished the carcass and they're moving up and down. She might be hearing that movement. Can you get any more beautiful? Veronique, we are also very happy to see her, and I'm glad that it has brought you joy seeing her this morning. It is always such a treat when you've been tracking her and you know she's in the area. You've been tracking for a few days and then you get to see her, and it just kind of reaffirms what you know about the bush, but also it reaffirms the condition she's in, and we get to have a little bit of a bonding moment with her and see what is happening in her life. It's a nice little window into the life of a leopard. Let's see if I can move. She's actually headed towards the drainage line. Unexpected twist. I was expecting her to go more towards quarantine. but I can see why she would choose this. There's a nice termite mound and some dead trees, and so I'm going to see if I can follow her towards the drainage line, see what we can find in there with her. Miss Tlalamba is now headed straight down towards the drainage line. She's paused again to have a listen, and her tail keeps moving ever so slightly right on the tip. And I think she might be assessing whether it's safe to go into the drainage line, but at the same time whether there's any potential food down here. So you can see she's using this long grass to her advantage and just giving it a little evaluation while she's here. So the only thing I've seen so far moving on the other side of her has been a Swainson's spurfowl. Oh, she must have a fly bothering her. I haven't seen anything else, but this is a perfect area for duiker. Morgan and Frankie, you are 11 and 7. Thank you so much for your question. Tlalamba's cubs are just about 3 months old now, we think, about 12 weeks. So they are still very young and very cute and very small. And we don't know yet who they will grow up to be, but we can already see some nice personality traits coming through. And hopefully, well, it seems like one is like mom and one is like dad, actually. One cub seems to be a bit more like Tlalamba, a bit adventurous, outgoing. The other one, maybe a little bit more like Mulwati, a little bit more shy. So it seems like a pretty good split of leopard personalities at this stage. But I hope we can find them for you sometime soon in the next few days. And I feel like we have definitely got very lucky this morning to have ended with such a gorgeous girl. I'd love to know where she's going from here. Maybe there's a duiker she can hear somewhere. Oh my goodness, how perfect is she? Look at those ears in the grass. Everyone, I am so happy that you could join us this morning. That we could share Tlalamba with you and all of the little odds and ends, the shongololos and the birds. It's been an absolutely wonderful morning, and hopefully we'll be able to find her around here again this afternoon. At least we know where to start now. And we're definitely looking forward to having you with us for our safari this afternoon. Hopefully we can end with some more spots like we did this morning. How exciting. Perfect way to end our morning with you. Thanks, everyone.
So we found a giraffe, big male. They're quite nice just to sit here, and also you'll be able to hear the tail swishing every now and then. I think he's just going to hopefully end up feeding right next to us. Actually looks so cool with the clouds behind the giraffe. He's eating from a guarri tree, but I think mostly what he might be after are the little fruits. I mean, I was complaining about ticks, but this guy is just littered in it. And all the folds. So I'm gonna try to turn around, follow the giraffe for a little while. Luckily, he feels like walking on the road. Very elegant way of walking.
also quite quiet now when they walk.
Training Pridelands. At the moment we're watching a mixed group of animals busy grazing as well as browsing, and they include both impala, kudu as well as zebra. And it's not often that we get the opportunity to actually view kudu from the vehicle, as they tend to be quite skittish and move away from the vehicles very quickly. At the moment, it does appear as if this kudu is actually feeding grass, but it's actually not. It's actually going for a small amount of shrubs, as if they're actually browsers, which means that they feed on leaf material, unlike the zebra and the impala, which feeds mostly at grass. In the case of impala, they can also fix over to leaf material in the later parts of the year when there's no sufficient grasses around, or when the grasses aren't as palatable as what they are at the moment. Occasionally I have actually seen zebra also taking leaf material, but it's maybe once or twice in a 22-year career as a guide that I've actually seen this behavior. It was only in times of drought when there was absolutely nothing else to eat that I have seen them doing so. Come back to the kudu, the one that we have in front of us. This is a female, and as you notice, you'll see that they actually have no horns compared to the males. And this is typical of woodland antelope species, where the females lack horns because horns actually do get in the way. Also in the case of kudu, baboons that are unhappy about something. I'm not sure what that's up to. You can just see how all of the animals then changed in their behavior when they suddenly noticed the baboons alarming in the distance. That's most likely more a dispute between two big males that were running down the road rather than that of a predator that might be disturbing them. Coming back to the kudu, we'll also notice typically of woodland antelope species is that they've got incredibly big ears. And when you do operate in thick wooded areas, you must be able to actually detect your potential threat by means of hearing, as sight is quite limited in these environments. So in South Africa, we only have one species of kudu, and this is known as the greater kudu. That's also our second heaviest of antelope species when it comes to the bulls. They can gain weights of approximately 316 kilograms. Also the antelope species with the longest horns, even if it does appear that species such as Gemsbok have longer horns. Although they're straight, it doesn't take in consideration the length of the kull of the horns have in kudu. Now, if I remember, the record of kudus is just over almost close to 1.8 meters now in length for a kudu horn. In general, we also find in some areas where kudu becomes persecuted that they become very secretive, and they only become active at night. Good morning, Daniel. I don't often see kudu in association with zebra and impala. It's more often we'll find actually that zebra, impala and wildebeest will feed in association. And most likely it's an open area. There is a number of shrubs that they can feed on, which they are feeding on, and at the same time they're just enjoying the safety in numbers which these other animals are providing by having more eyes, less chance that it's going to be you that's going to be more individuals in the group, less chance for you going to be taken, and more eyes to spot a potential predator. There's got a few more kudus that are now coming out of the bush, moving towards us as well. It's all females. Within the next few months, normally from late April, May, we'll start actually noticing that the kudu bulls start developing incredibly thick necks, and they'll very soon start fighting one another for access to females. And quite often they become very complacent when they are in the rutting period from May right through to April, May to August. And it's sometimes if they're so focused on females that they don't really notice what's going on around them, and they often end up running into trouble. In one of the areas where I worked, there was a group of lions which we referred to as the mountain pride, and they often used to take kudu bulls down at that specific part of the year, as they were way more alert than the females were. One of the things that always fascinates me about kudu is how they can so effectively use the ability to freeze and just blend into the environment and disappear within seconds.
Not right now. Wow, look at that! Jeffrey, I got your comment just on time. Look at this! You're right, Jeffrey, you're saying don't stop. Yesterday, I made a great last-minute find, and look. Wowza! You do not often see marabou storks here. Yes, we have them, but they're not common. And here, we've got one right on top of a dead tree. Amazing! You see them a lot in the Mara, and when I was in Ethiopia, we were in a town called Hawasha, and there are so many marabou storks that they have actually got specific areas marked off for the storks, and they've also got zebra crossings. I don't want to call it a pedestrian crossing because the pedestrians are the storks. They've literally designed special crossings in the road just for the storks, and the storks walk across the crossing. They make the cars stop, just like people, to get to the other side. It's amazing. Anyway, wowza, this is a very cool find. One of the best photos I ever took, one of the best sightings I ever had of a marabou stork was in the Masai Mara. And it was a kill made by, I think, the Salt Licks. I'm pretty sure it was the Salt Lake Pride. And the North Clan got it naturally, and all the scavengers were present. Marabou stork, jackal, and lappet-faced vultures, and they were all having an absolute hilarious time together. The jackal was just trying to bite the marabou stork's wing to annoy it. The lappet-face was waiting until the jackal was annoying the stork, and none of them were paying attention to swoop in, and I'm sure some of you will remember it. It was on a live drive. It was hilarious. Owen loves dad jokes. I've got a dad joke for you, Owen. Do you want to hear it? Dr. Rocky Balboa, thank you. It's a very nice find. I love them. So, Owen, why do storks stand on one leg? If they didn't, they would fall over. I'm not sure how authentic Owen's laugh was there. I think he's just putting it on for me. But anyway, that was terrible. I'm embarrassed. Huh?
Tell them the flat earth one.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so
You need to speak louder for the microphone to pick you up.
70% of the earth is covered by water and it's not carbonated. Therefore the earth is flat.
Oh dog. Where did you get that one from? The book of dad jokes. Viewers, don't even start. We're not going into the realm of dad jokes right now. Goodness, we've had many of drives where we literally just talk about dad jokes. Those are the quiet days. But sorry, Marabou, you're not getting the attention that you deserve right now, are you? Izzy, I think you're just being nice. I don't know whether you're talking about mine or Owen's, but I'm going to think it's mine. Owen just said that at the same time. Oh, Izzy, we both say thank you. Oh, dear. Anyway, back to the beautiful bird in hand. I wasn't gifted with much in terms of looks. They are said to be one of the most unattractive birds, which is a shame, and I don't agree. I think they're unique looking, but that's the sort of general consensus that they are one of the ugliest birds. They look like grumpy old men, which is a shame. And naturally, they are scavengers, and you will find them lurking on the outskirts of human civilization, landfill sites, trying to scavenge for anything that they can find. But I do believe that in Arabic, I'm sure it's Arabic, marabou can translate to hermit-like, which is fascinating. But in different languages, you can pull out different meanings using different words. But I don't think in any language across the world, the marabou storks are known for their looks. Remarkable all the same, though. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, my mother always used to say. Oh, this is such a great last-minute find. I feel like I need to go to quarantine now and find some more. Amazing action here, amazing. Hyenas running everywhere, white-backed vultures being numerous and frantic as always, hissing. Hooded vultures staying on the outskirts. This is where they killed the buffalo. Can you believe it? We've always tended to avoid Sydney's Dam because of the signal issues. This area, just as long as I keep my vehicle still, we can make it work. But otherwise, because of all the issues, we don't tend to traverse this area too much. Look at it. Haven't had action like this in ages. I love vulture sightings. This must be when the carcass was. They're tearing, they're crunching, they're pulling. I love vultures. They get very aggressive with one another as well. The white-backed are the most common and the most numerous, especially at a kill site. Can you hear them? In comes the hooded, in comes the hooded, incoming. Oh, what a landing. The hooded waits until all the whitebacks are gone and comes in. Look at that. We're just bumbling. It's very important for me in the morning to keep moving. And sometimes what's really nice to do, now this is not an attractive road, it's an access road with a power line. Sometimes it's nice just to, because we've got height, to actually just use your binos or the camera and search the road. I've actually found a leopard this way. It's really easy to spot elephants this way. Because many animals love to also use the road. So if you just gain a bit of height, you can see the entire length of the road. Well, not entire length, but you can see far. And if something's walking on the road, you're going to pick it up. Nothing so far, I'm afraid. But you see what I mean? You can really see that the birds are really calling now, and it's so beautiful. So let's just take a moment to appreciate this landscape and the beauty of the scene in front of us. Isn't it just stunning? It's already getting very hot, which might make it a bit tricky to find mobile animals.
So we've just come across quite an interesting scene. We've got a pair of Wahlberg's eagles, and have a look at this fork-tailed drongo. It is so upset that there are raptors here, and it is giving them quite a rev at the moment. Listen to the calls it's making. So it's trying to make a lot of noise to try and chase them, but at the same time what it's doing is it keeps mobbing. So it sits for a few minutes and then it mobs them, and it's actually been smacking. Yeah, look there, it actually just smacked that one again. The pale morph is at the bottom, we can't see it so clearly, but it's been mobbing the pale one in particular. It seems to be ignoring the normal Wahlberg's eagle at the top, but the pale morph, it is really not leaving it in peace. You can see it's mobbing and mobbing and mobbing. The flight skills of a drongo, just unreal. They can change directions so quickly. And I mean, listen to all of those calls. It's got over 50 calls, but at the moment it's just trying to be as loud and irritating as possible. And the point of this mobbing is just to try and get these eagles to move. Look at that size difference. Oh, it worked. Shame. So the Wahlberg's eagle's actually gone and landed. The pale one's gone and landed. That's the Wahlberg's calling. It's gone and landed in the marula tree. And I wouldn't be surprised if its partner now follows. I think it's just getting so tired of being mobbed, looking for some cover. Carol, flying honey badgers, I agree. They are so tenacious, they are so protective, very aggressive in their behavior when they're mobbing, and it shows because they do not give up. And it works. I mean, that eagle got so frustrated that it actually moved to a tree that's got quite a lot of brush, a lot of leaves and cover, so that the drongo can't actually peck it on its head anymore. And I mean, bear in mind, that's quite a dangerous behavior for this drongo to have. You know, if it is actually touching that eagle, and a few times it actually touched it, it smacked it on the head as it was mobbing. I mean, that's quite dangerous. All that eagle has to do is be quick enough to move and grab it. But drongos are very well known for this behavior. Drongos and starlings tend to be the two leaders of the mob pack. And so it is very, very interesting to have seen that behavior and how tenacious it was. It is still in the marula tree and it is still mobbing the pale morph and calling away. But it seems like this one is not really too bothered. I'm actually not sure why the drongo chose the pale morph instead of the normal Wahlberg's eagle that you can see here. Possibly because the pale morph is a little bit bigger. Oh, but now we've got a new bird. They're actually coming to investigate. Two starlings going to investigate why the drongo is performing the way that it is. So they've actually both gone to join the drongo in the marula tree. That poor Wahlberg's eagle is going to have a rough morning. So even when it's flying, the drongo is coming up behind it and kind of smacking it on the back while it's flying. And you can hear the Wahlberg's eagle is trying to call its partner. And its partner is not bothered. Look at this, it's time for preening. Feigning oblivion, it seems. Well, now the drongo is just getting all the other birds involved. You can hear all the different calls. definitely trying its best to move this eagle out of the area, and it's not going to work because, yes, it'll irritate the Wahlberg's eagle and it might temporarily fly away. Oh, now we've started with this one. Now the drongo's given up on the other. But this is a nesting pair, so we know that they have a nest here, and I don't think they'll move very easily. And this is all just a tactic for the drongo to try and protect its chicks, its eggs. Rusty, very cool name. I think our Rusty over here would enjoy having you on board. Yes, actually the drongos have quite sharp beaks, and if they come down with enough force and they do hit the back of the head or something like that, they could actually cause a wound on the eagle. That being said, you know, the feather coverage is pretty good. Ah, Vasti, not Rusty. Oh, well, Vasti, thank you for the question. And yes, the drongo can actually hurt the eagle, but it would take quite a lot of force and a lucky shot to get a wound in somewhere on the eagle. They've got so much feather coverage, and they know that when they're being mobbed, they kind of just tuck their head in a little bit so the neck isn't exposed, and the feathers on the back are so thick that they wouldn't really be able to get through the feathers to the skin. But with a lucky shot, they would be able to if they caught it at the right moment in the right position. It's more irritating than anything, so it's not as though it hurts the Wahlberg's eagle every time the drongo mobs it. It's just irritating. You can imagine, you know, it's similar to when, for example, an insect takes a liking to you and it keeps coming to your face and landing on you and kind of flying around your head. You know, you tend to get a bit frustrated. You try and swat it away, and then you'll move. You'll move away from the insect. It's the same kind of behavior. And I'm telling you right now, if a drongo or a blacksmith lapwing did that to me, I would definitely be running out of the area. I wouldn't stick around. It doesn't work the same as when you encounter an elephant or a lion on foot and you stand your ground. I'm telling you, if a bird starts mobbing me, I'm out of there. So it's just that very irritating, loud. You can see it actually flinched there. Watch, it's flinching its head. It's actually ducking down every time the drongo comes close to it. So the drongo can actually mimic the call of the Wahlberg's eagle, which is quite impressive. It's one of the best mimics that we have out here. It can mimic so many different birds, but it can also mimic a few mammals like dwarf mongooses. It's definitely trying its best to move both of these eagles out. So you can see the eagles are not terribly bothered. It's still gone back to preening. But the drongo is not going to give up until this eagle moves. Okay, so let's see what happens. It looks like the drongo has gone to fetch reinforcements and it might be coming back with a vengeance. Let's see what happens.
This has been utterly fascinating to watch. Fascinating. So this little one, who's currently now not visible, which is a shame because it came right out, is trying. It's really trying to get in there with the other two and get some milk, but that's not going to happen. The other two are fully latched on and drinking away. And it just keeps, it's attracted to the smell of milk. It's learning ribbon scent. It's really fascinating what's going on here. I hope it comes back out again. Come on, come and see us. And Ribbon isn't bothered. It's just a little cub, you know. She just wants to sleep and get her beauty sleep in to be beautiful for the nighttime. But the other cub is not suckling, but it's interested and it's trying and it's nervous. I got some great shots of it for the ID kit though. Nadia, I'm so happy too that I got this extra little stint with you all, and I did not expect to come back to more cubs. I'm just finding it so fascinating. All the other cubs that we have found at the den, I think I actually found them all 2 years ago, we knew who the mother was. We found them with the mother. There was never any sort of question about it, actually. And now we have this situation. When I heard last night Rowan has 3 cubs, I'm thinking, what? And there are 3 cubs. It's just But that other one is just, it's not interacting with Ribbon in any way, shape or form. And what we've been watching is Ribbon's pair running around, chasing each other, biting each other. They're siblings, they know each other, just having the time of their life. And this other one is just staying put. It doesn't know them very well. It's going to get to know them, trust me. But right now it doesn't know them very well, and it's not really willing to come out fully out of the den just yet. I'm just waiting, so we can finally piece this together. We need to move the dam cam, borrow it, and just keep it here for one night. It would actually be very cool to watch them at night time. Really cool. You would learn a lot. I would never sleep though, and that would not be a good thing. We're just bumbling. It's very important for me in the morning to keep moving. And sometimes what's really nice to do, now this is not an attractive road, it's an access road with a power line. Sometimes it's nice just to, because we've got height, to actually just use your binos or the camera and search the road. I've actually found a leopard this way. It's really easy to spot elephants this way. Because many animals love to also use the road. So if you just gain a bit of height, you can see the entire length of the road. Well, not entire length, but you can see far. And if something's walking on the road, you're going to pick it up. Nothing so far, I'm afraid. But you see what I mean? You can really see that the birds are really calling now, and it's so beautiful. So let's just take a moment to appreciate this landscape and the beauty of the scene in front of us. Isn't it just stunning? It's already getting very hot, which might make it a bit tricky to find mobile animals.
That's John is breeding herd of impala and the wildebeest. Pretty much this might tell me in the area because they're getting close to the drainage line where I was thinking to walk around in the area. Speaking to you, I'm also checking more or less in the area possible where Kalambashi might be very close to this impala, but there's no way because most of our wind blow from the south to north direction. The impala might by this time pick the scent of this leopard and able to really walk far away from the point. Wildebeest and impala together, they're really enjoying the company, or wildebeest is enjoying the company of impala. The wildebeest is one of the territorial species in the area. They're pretty being territorial. Of course, they'll pick the area where it's more open, run around in the area and scent mark. They have gland in between the hoofs, and is one of the species that have preorbital gland. Of course, below the eyes, between the eyes and the nostrils, he will rub against the tree in order to really get rid of other males if they come into the area. Establishing his own area, waiting for females to come to join him. If you look at the wildebeest in other country of the world, or for example, if you take example of Masai Mara, Tanzania, where the animals or wildebeest, they come in numbers, millions of them. They cannot practice being territorial, stay in one point. They move all together like a cast of insect or locust. What does in most cases, competition for being territorial, it isn't going to be practiced because there's a lot of opportunity of mating. It's the biggest major thing when it comes to animal in small numbers, because they have to be so strong and fit in order to mate. Of course, if you look at the wildebeest migration, you tend to see million and million of wildebeest. Opportunity of mating is very high. Sharon, nice to hear that. It's really interesting. The impala have adopted the wildebeest. It looked like, yes, it used quite a lot of impala eyes to really scan scan in the area for predators, especially in the course of night. Again, it's a huge benefit for impala also, having wildebeest. If anything small in the form of the predators come into area want to hunt impala, a wildebeest can stand and really chase that particular animals. I've seen wildebeest really chasing cheetah sometimes, try to hunt impala. So it will intimidate the cheetah, and the impala will be free from the cheetah easy on that way. Nice to see the species mingling together with the other different species as for benefit. I've scanned all the big trees around in the area, looking while I'm talking, looking particular, maybe I might spot a dead animal up in a tree or impala, or different slightly color that doesn't look the same color of the trees itself. So that tells how difficult to find a leopard out in the area. If you walk or drive in 2,500 hectares of the property, you're looking for Talamba, which is very small and is very thick around in the area. If you don't rely on the information of tracks, it will be difficult for you to find that particular species. the impala are so much calm, so relaxing. It's a very good sign. It doesn't mean, of course, if they're so relaxed like this, doesn't mean there's no leopard around. A leopard is one of the species, of course, very clever, might opposite the wind and come from the different angle or where the wind might be blowing, and he can get information from the impala. If we get to see them here, you might shift and move slightly to the north. I hope we'll walk the area and get more evidence.
Yeah, it's Tlalamba, look at the teats. Yeah, so very, very exciting. As we came around the corner to Vuyatela Dam, Tlalamba was in the road, walking away from the dam. I'm so excited. Oh, look at that tail. So we actually came around, we could hear some squirrels alarm calling, and as I looked up over the dam wall, I spotted her walking away. Oh my goodness. She's feeling a little bit frustrated at the moment because the squirrels and the birds spotted her straight away. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy. Beautiful girl. Oh, you can see her mammary glands are nice and full, so she is doing well. She's busy scent marking at the moment, so in all likelihood she's left the cubs somewhere close by, and she's out on a mission looking for food, scent marking, and just carrying on. Look how high up her tail is, so she's really advertising to everybody at the moment. I know that you've seen me. I'm not hunting, I'm just moving along. But it's crazy how, have a look when she's walking, you can actually see, especially when she stops and flicks her tail, you can see her mammary glands swinging out from underneath her. Oh, what have you spotted? That tail is so expressive this morning. You can see the starlings are wanting to mob her, like the drongo did to the Wahlberg's eagle. Oh, that tail. So expressive. Where are you going, girl? I can hear the Wahlberg's eagle agreeing. Oh, I just had a gut feeling. Come back towards the dam, and I'm so happy that I did. Oh, she is beautiful, more beautiful than I remember. I don't know if anyone else agrees, but I feel like every time I see her, it gets better. Oh, look at those paws, leaving some nice fresh tracks on the road. Oh, and those ears have not stopped moving. Everyone loves this princess as much as I do. Yay! Oh my goodness, what a way to have the last little bit of my morning. Hello, Tlalamba. Where are we going? It's always so fascinating to me to be able to follow a leopard, especially when they're territorial marking and things like that. It just is so wonderful to see where they're going. Lauren, it's one of my favorite things as well, when you get a leopard walking towards you and you can see as the paw hits the ground, the toes give a little bit of a shake. It's one of the, well, to me, one of the cutest things about a leopard. Not that a leopard is in any way actually cute. They're a very well designed killing machine, very beautiful, but still incredible to see. They give a little bit of a shake as they hit the floor and as they lift up. Oh, she is in quite a, seems like a bit of a cheeky mood this morning. She seems to be getting frustrated with all of the birds that are spotting her. Oh, that white tip on the tail. I wonder who her cubs will grow up to be. What kind of leopards will they be? If they're anything like their mom, hopefully they'll be very, very cheeky and very out here all the time, walking plainly on the roads and being exceptional hunters. I'm going to see if I can loop around. There's actually a road coming up ahead that joins back up to Quarantine, so we are not far from Quarantine at all. I'll see if I can go around and have her walking towards us. Bob, we think that Tlalamba's cubs are actually both male, which is quite unusual. It's normally a male and a female, but we haven't had a clear confirmation on the smaller of the two cubs yet. He is a bit more skittish. She is a bit more skittish. So we haven't had a very clear view yet of whether or not it is a male or a female. But as soon as we know, we will let you know. We definitely know that the older cub, sorry, not the older cub, the larger cub is a male. So I've actually stopped in the junction, so that means she's got more than enough space to move around us. But she is looking very interested in something. Oh, look at those mammary glands. You are a good mom. Lovely. Oh, that tail. What are you seeing? Just want to give an update on the radio quickly. Stations and updates. Tlalamba is still mobile south on Twin Dams Road, just south of Vuyatela Dam. Oh wow, she's choosing to go in front of me. Hello, sweetheart. There are some very fresh suckle marks on those mammary glands, so that makes me very, very happy. I think she's seen the cubs quite recently. So this is a very good thing. They must be somewhere close by. But, I mean, also knowing her, she moves such incredible distances. She tends to walk in big circles too, so very wonderful to know that somewhere here there are two little leopard cubs. And maybe we'll get to see them sometime soon in the future.
So we found a giraffe, big male. It's quite nice just to sit here, and also you'll be able to hear the tail swishing every now and then. I think he's just going to hopefully end up feeding right next to us. Actually looks so cool with the clouds behind the giraffe. He's eating from a guarri tree, but I think mostly what he might be after are the little fruits. I mean, I was complaining about ticks, but this guy is just littered in it. And all the folds. Just gonna try to turn around, follow the giraffe for a little while. Luckily he feels like walking on the road. Very elegant way of walking. Also quite quiet now when they walk.
morning and welcome back to Eco Training Bridlands. I'm talking very softly because we've got a group of dwarf mongoose in front of us, and they do disturb quite quickly at times if you are talking either too loud or make sudden rapid movements. What you'll also notice is that there's a red-billed hornbill that's sitting very close by to them, and he's been following them as if they were disturbing insects. And they often do so, and in a mutualistic relationship, we also find that this relationship extends to yellow-billed hornbills. And I've seen yellow-billed hornbill actually doing this also in the Kalahari, following meerkats, which is one of the close relatives to a dwarf mongoose. So in Southern Africa, out of all the mongoose species, there's only 4 of them that are social. And the dwarf mongoose, being our smallest of the mongoose species, is one of those 4 social species. And in this case, we also find that the group is led by an alpha male and female, and the alpha female in this case is also 30% larger than the others. That's very few species of animals where I know that we have a matriarchal society, and that also includes elephants. Let's see what they're going to get up to. They also tend to be very, very curious. Actually, when it comes to these little predators, they're also incredibly effective little hunters. And I've actually once or twice seen them taking small little mammals together, and that means little mice. And in the past also, where I watched 4 of them actually pulling a bat out from underneath a log and killing it and devouring it. I reckon they're as effective as the African wild dogs that we saw this morning. One of the things that we'll also notice with them is that they move around within a territory, and what they will do is they try and move through their territory in approximately 27-day average. And the reason why is that's the duration of what their scent lasts. And if they don't demarcate their territory by means of scent, that will tell other groups of dwarf mongoose that the area is not occupied, and then they will try and take that territory over. There's a little trick that I was taught by my trackers many years ago. If you do want to get the attention of a dwarf mongoose, you can just imitate a call that sounds something like this. Let's see if it works. We've got quite a wide range of different calls that indicate different things, but this seems to be one of the contact calls that they use, and already 2 of them is coming a little bit closer. Let's see what they get up to. When it comes to imitating calls of animals, I do believe that it's fair game if you can attract animals such as a wild dog or a lion or a dwarf mongoose by imitating the call. However, you should never be using electronic methods actually of calling up animals. And you also should be doing it very, very sparingly when you are going to imitate the calls, as you don't want to upset the animals and alter their behavior in any other manner. A few years ago, we actually noticed a guy that was playing a call of a lion from his vehicle on his mobile phone, and that infuriated the 2 big male lions that were moving down the road, and they thought that there was an intruder in their territory and that the intruder was inside their vehicle. So you have to really, really be careful with doing things like that, as it's not fair on the animal either. When it also comes to playing calls for birds, as a bird guide, we were taught to also use calls very sparingly. We also were taught to play them very soft. And in general, when we do play those calls, we will play them roughly at 20 seconds intervals. And after the 3rd attempt of playing it, we stop playing. It either means that the bird is not going to respond or the bird is not there. Quite often we find that birders tend to overplay in areas, which leads to the birds no longer responding to that call either. A few other important things when it does come to using electronic methods of calling up birds. It's also not to do it in a breeding season and when they are close to nest, as this can often break up a pair or that's busy nesting in that area or force a male to move off. And the reason why we play those calls incredibly soft is that male can think that it's a much more dominant and more intimidating male that's being calling. Something else that we were also taught in terms of call-ups when it comes to birds is when you are playing specifically for owls, you always start off with your small owls and then progressively move up towards your larger owl species, which you can find in that area. And the reason is the smaller owls often are predated on by the larger owls, and that will be intimidated by the sounds of that more dominant and larger owl species. But for me, I personally prefer to imitate bird calls myself and rather see if I can call them out. Sometimes what I will do also is if I can't imitate that specific species, I'll simply use the calls of a pearl-spotted owlet. And by imitating the owl, you also mainly see that there's a number of birds that will come and investigate to see what is going on. I also will use some general alarm calls, which sounds like something like shh, 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 and that also. Good afternoon and welcome to Eco Training Prudence. At the moment, we're looking at a wasp that has just caught a bee in midair. And now we're watching it as it's going to slowly start eating it. We're also going to just want to watch if it's actually going to eat it or if it's actually going to lay an egg inside it and then deposit it somewhere else. And we often do find that a lot of wasp species will actually lay their eggs in live hosts which they've paralyzed. So my name is JP LaRue, and behind the camera we've got BK. We're just going to try and zoom back onto that wasp before it disappears because it's such a fascinating thing that's happening over here. So now we're wondering, do we have parasitism that's taking place or actually a normal form of predation that's taking place? When it does come to bees and wasps, they're actually very closely related to one another. They belong into the same order. So let's see what they get up to. One of the things that I do find quite interesting is that many of the wasp species will actually parasitize other wasps and their eggs and larvae. And in that case, we refer to them as hyperparasitoids. But we also find that they will go for caterpillars as well as spiders. And one of the large spider hunting wasps that we do find around here often go for incredibly large spiders such as baboon spiders. And I've actually seen them in the past dragging them out of a hole after that they've actually paralyzed them with their sting and then dragging them several hundred meters to a hole that has been already created where they will dump them in and then leave them there. And then that live host will start being food provision for the larvae of that wasp that then from there on will develop. Some species of wasp also has very sensitive receptors on the feet, and they actually can detect vibrations underneath the wood. And they specifically go for wood-boring beetles. And what I do find fascinating with those species is that they can actually push the other positive through that piece of bark into that wood borer larvae and then lay the egg inside it. Another thing that I do find particularly fascinating about them is that certain plant species have learned to actually evolve a strategy where they utilize wasps actually to get rid of caterpillars. And what these plants do is that they will actually create the scent of that specific species of caterpillar when those caterpillars start attacking them, and then automatically large numbers of these wasps will be attracted to the plant to come and deal with these caterpillars. However, in most cases, caterpillars feeding on a plant is not always a negative association. We also see that quite often they form a large amount of waste directly underneath the plant, which is referred to as frass, and that gets washed back into the soil and gets reutilized again by the plant.
Can you hear them? In comes the hoodie, in comes the hoodie, incoming. Oh, what a landing. The hoodie waits until all the white backs are gone and comes in. Look at that. Hoodie are the smallest, that's why. The lions are on Sydney's wall, so we will try and give you a view, but naturally it's not our property. We don't traverse Buffelshoek anymore. Very sad. Those were some of my happiest days with wild air, traversing Buffelshoek. There are some happy hyenas running around, I'll tell you. I actually mentioned this the other day on Live Drive. It's been a while since I've had a sighting of frenzy at a carcass. I didn't catch that name, I'm afraid, but breakfast for everyone, even the lions, absolutely. And that's why these guys are so incredible. They just clean everything up, along with the hyenas. Clean it right up. Are there any Ngala on this side, or are they all at the dam? The last one finished. Okay. Yeah, we don't go that side anymore, but we can view from the cut line. Is it the Talamatis? Okay. We never used to get signal here, so this is a winner. Thank you, guys. Okay, it is the Talamatis after all. They're on the dam wall, so we will turn around, but I just thought this was incredible to see the hyenas and the vultures and just the activity that happens. It's amazing. Did anyone get an idea on that other hyena? Kaka was one of them. Amazing. Okay, we'll try and maneuver to get the lions before the end of show. Let's do this, OD. Oh, look at that. All but nothing. My goodness.
So I've just arrived at Treehouse Dam. Doesn't look like there are any larger animals around, but there's definitely a lot of bird life. You can hear some birds in the background. And I just thought I'd spend a few minutes here just listening and watching, because it is so beautiful here. Have a look at those cloud formations. It's just so dramatic. So I just want to listen for a little bit. I'm hoping to hear sounds of maybe branches breaking, or elephants or buffaloes, anything like that. But also unusual bird calls. So let's have a listen for a minute. I can't even hear red-billed buffalo weavers, and this is where they nest. You can see the big nest there in the tree. There's no activity from the buffalo weavers. But I can hear other birds. I can see the odd one flitting around. I think the weather's actually giving everybody a bit of confusion at the moment, because it's so hot and it's going so quickly between fully overcast and very, very hot sun, with quite a strong wind this afternoon compared to this morning. I think the animals know there's a weather change happening. There might be some rain, and so they are maybe a little bit more shy this afternoon, and that's totally valid. I completely understand it. So we will see what happens as the afternoon goes on.
had the most amazing experience. I think the internet dropped at literally the worst possible time, everyone. They're on the move. That was just a temporary holding space. She called them out and they were she sat right next to our tire and called and called and called and they wouldn't come. Oh, look at this one on the left. Now, guys, if you can get any views of genitalia or anything that I might miss, because you've got way better visuals than I have, please, please, please. We know that one's a boy. Suspecting one boy and one girl due to the size difference. Many of you have also said the same thing, but that's just a suspicion. No, I can't try and finish my story, but you're being cute. Bounce, 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 bounce. Please keep up with mommy. She sat next to the tire and called them. They wouldn't come. They were so nervous to come to the car. She called and she called and she called. She wouldn't stop it. And our chuffing got deeper. Almost as if she was saying now. And it was almost... Okay, many of you will probably disagree with me. But it was almost as if she was teaching them, just a vehicle, guys. Come, see, it's not going to hurt you. That's what it felt like. They need to learn. They're learning now. They're copying mom. If mom can sit next to a car and not be scared, maybe we should also sit next to a car and not be scared. I wonder where she's taking them. We're now going south on Drakensberg. And I'm just going to give them a distance. If they go off-road, I'm not going to off-road after them. Megan, you're saying you love that bouncy little walk. I know, it's like boing, boing, boing. It is also getting late. I mean, the sun's got a bit to go, but if they go off-road, I won't follow. I know the area. So I think if she does take them somewhere, we might be able to figure out. Look at them copying mom. Look at that. Mom's got her tail up. I'm going to put my tail up. I'm going to be like, Mummy. One cub's braver than the other. One cub came right to the tire and had a sniff. One didn't come anywhere near. And that's also making me think maybe boy and girl. A bit of a size difference. But I haven't had a look at genitalia, so I... Garden poet, you are saying something that I did not catch. I have turned my earpiece around. But hi, garden poet. I will wait one more time. Follow the sandy dirt road. I got you now. Yellow brick road, but not poet, and you don't even know it. But you do know it because it's in your name anyway. Orange, shut up. I'm intentionally just driving ridiculously slow and giving them masses of space. But if it was just Tlalamba, she's a lot more relaxed. But it really was like she was saying, did you agree with... Would you agree with me there, Owen, that she was calling the cops to the car? You would? to see us. Just it almost felt like, come, this is not dangerous. Oh, this is a sighting I've been waiting for. Patience does pay off. You also need time in the bush. If anyone is ever thinking about going on a safari, you can't really... I mean, 2 or 3 days I'm sure would be great, but it's often not enough to see everything. I'm just going to keep my radio up. I just want to see if anyone's moving in Djuma.
Cow.
Well, it's not my radio, it's Michelle's. They're still there, aren't they? Ah, here we go. This must be so exciting. You're a cub and Mom's let you go exploring with her, and the smells and the feel of the sand against your feet and the sounds of the different insects. Ah, it must just be the best. Okay. Poor boy. You're saying the bigger one, which we would think would be a boy, is sniffing the bush in such a way that would make him a boy. I know where you're going with that. I think, Point Girl. A few of you have messaged me also. I've chatted to some of you already, and you also think that. But again, same with hyenas until you get proof. No. You do not stay far away from Mama. Where's Tlalamba gone? No. Not okay. Go get Mom. Uh-huh. That worries me. I think that's the smaller one. They must follow Mom at this stage, really. I mean, they are so vulnerable. This is a junction I've been checking every single day. Every single day. This is, you're not going to believe it, this junction here comes from Torchwood. No, Tlalamba. You won't believe it. Exactly where Tlalamba is right now is where I first had my proper sighting of Tanli and an adult Maribs coming into Djuma from Torchwood. Tlalamba, please do not take your cubs to Torchwood. No offense, Torchwood. Please don't, girl. Oh no, my director just said what I just thought. It's like she looked back there as if to say goodbye. She might just wander cheetah cut line. Torchwood is a wonderful property, we just can't traverse it. That's why I'm saying no. The Torchwood people will be happy. This is exactly the spot. This is the exact bush where I first saw Maribs once he got mobile. I saw him in the den side, the Inyala den side, but he was very he's tiny and could only see about 2% of him. Oh, I hate the direction she's moving. I hate it. I remember Aubrey called me, Lauren, come to Central now. When Aubrey talks like that, you go to Central now. And Tandy had crossed because it's also Central on Torchwood. It's split by Cheetah Cut Line, but it's also called Central. And lo and behold, Tandy came in with baby Mareebs. They're so tiny, it actually looks ridiculous. Linda Polly, are you guys going to visit Granny? Granny Tandy. Oh, I mean, Tlalamba's territory does touch into Torchwood, of course, but she might not. She might just be taking them on a walk. Or am I just trying to make myself feel better right now? I haven't had an update from Tandy since I came back. But really, no one's really driving Torchwood, to be fair. So she could be living it up there, living her best life. Okay, let's keep up. It gets very thick. Almost a Cheetah Cut Line. And once we get to Cheetah Cut Line, let's see. Okay, everyone, I'm gonna see which direction Tlalamba's gonna take. Hopefully it's not east, but I believe Tess has got eyes on her lions.
Welcome back. We're still with this breeding heart of elephant. Slowly moving to the east. So we're going to observe what they're going to do and which area they like to move in the area. We're going to follow them and let's enjoy the sound of an elephant grazing in the area and browsing at the same time.
repositioned. And it actually works in our favor anyway, signal-wise, and we get much better views of the elephants. And I've mentioned this quite a few times, and it didn't come from me, it came from Rexon, but he said they're not destroyers, they are creators, and I really just love that. It's all about changing your perspective. And Rexon does a lot of the work here now that Djuma's changed its structure a little. Rexon does a lot of the work at protecting the marulas and putting the sort of wire mesh around all the trees. And although you don't want to prevent elephants from getting their food, there's also a sort of mechanism and algorithm behind it, if you like, where he knows the land better than anyone. I mean, Rexon was brought up here. This is his home. And he understands the movements of the elephants, why they're ring barking, what trees they do ring bark, and how to selectively choose specific trees to protect that'll still protect not only those trees, but the integrity of the land around it. And that's a lot of his work now. He does that. And it just deters the elephant. It doesn't harm them. It doesn't hurt them. Their food is plentiful. We're not in a drought. We're in the most lush, giving season with water everywhere. So they don't need the bark. They don't need to do that. And that's why we do protect them in the area. But they're not destroyers. They're creators. They create new things in so many ways. They're the architects, engineers, changing the land, not to destroy it, but to create something new. And it's such a beautiful, beautiful way of looking at it. Megan Edwards, you're seeing such pretty visuals. That's all down to OD, not me. He's the one with the skill behind the camera. I guess the elephants are helping. I mention this all the time, but Owen just reminded me that a lot of guides will about identifying the matriarch. And I think some guides are a bit too quick. So that's the matriarch. But really, there's a lot more to it than just being the oldest female or therefore the largest. That's not always the case. And in that beautiful book that I always recommend, Beyond Words by Carl Safina, it's broken into elephants, orcas, and wolves. And it's wonderful. It's quite heavy at points, but it's wonderful. And it really does go into great detail about elephant societies, how they communicate, how they structure themselves. And it's all about social units. Basically, the matriarch isn't always just the biggest female, and you've got to be really careful at presuming who it is. Sometimes it is obvious, but really, when it comes to science, you've obviously got to be very conclusive. And in identifying the matriarch, you should always wait, you should always observe. How you really are going to identify is not because she's the biggest female, no, is by social interactions. You need to just watch and see who they all gravitate around. Who are they reacting to? Who are they responding to? Who's the one that's sort of keeping her eye on the rest of the herd? She might not always be the big female at the front. She might just be that slightly smaller yet older female right at the back observing everybody. So sometimes it is obvious, but I think some people are just a bit too quick to see that's a matriarch. You've really got to watch who they're responding to, who they are gravitating around. After all, the matriarch is key to everybody's survival. She is the one that is going to lead the herd from success to success. She's responsible for the reproductive success of the whole herd. Yes, it's the oldest elephant, so therefore should be the biggest, but it's just not always the case, and you should be careful when you're trying to identify the matriarch.
This program features live coverage of an African safari and may include animal kills and carcasses. Viewer discretion is advised.
Yes, good morning everybody on this very wet Easter Sunday morning at Djuma Private Game Reserve in the Sabi Sand, South Africa. As you can see, it is still raining quite a bit. It's been raining all night. But thank you everybody for joining us on our beautiful, or I can say beautiful and wet sunrise morning here. And I'm really hoping that we can get some fantastic things for you. Good morning, everybody. My name is Cedric Dold, and behind the camera, we've got Ecuador. We are on Rusty this morning, and on Wendy, we're going to have Tess and Odie. So yes, it is a very wet morning.